In this episode of the TikTok Files, we will be taking a deep dive into being a wife is not a privilege. It's not in a woman's benefit to get married. This recording is from African women and men giving their perspectives on this issue.
Edwards, repeat
my
that.
Mother and my mother and my grandmother and those form. See them go up washing clothes with washing brush and all those form of things. They deserve the world.
Y'all cheated on them.
You guys are used to struggle love. That was struggle love.
Edward, do you have daughters? Edward, do you have daughters? And you think?
Yes, I have daughters. Yes, I have daughters.
Okay, so that applies to them as well, right? That they deserve less.
If they come up and they treat men like shit, yes, they deserve what they get. We live in a world.
You think it's treating men like shit?
I will teach my daughter. I will teach my daughter expectations. I will teach my daughter.
I'm just interested, Edward. Could you explain to me when you say a woman treats you like shit? Verify that for me. Explain that to me.
You can't go around and expect to have certain expectation of men and not be expected. What I'm saying is, if my daughter is doing good by someone, she should be treated good.
I don't.
Those women are doing good by
Most women are not doing good. Most women are not.
The average man would do what
you said women carry baggages, but you also carrying a baggage from you because you said I was raised by my single father. He's rich, so that's the same stance that you're having. So you also carry baggages,
but that does not mean that I don't know my mother.
I need to know what the baggage is, Edward. What is the baggage that women?
What I'm saying to you is,
I'm sorry.
What I'm saying to you is the way how women was back then and how they were treated. They should get all of the better treatment of what the women now were looking for.
Back then was they suffered. They were unhappy.
But that's why I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you is that men now are trying to do better, but because the women
you're
now
lying.
are
Most
picking up,
men are not. If you're trying to do better, that's okay. But most men are not doing better.
The only thing that women are doing better in right now is because they get certain jobs in society that they can look at differently.
They want women.
He's not looking at them differently. He's that now we are.
I feel like this one is just gonna keep going in circles.
And educated and pregnant.
We work on our mental health. We work on ourselves. We work on breaking generational curses. It's most men nowadays. You guys don't want to do the work. You guys don't want to do the work when it comes to mental health and seeking the help from inside of you. You guys don't want to break generational curses. You want to keep perpetuating the same toxicity that your fathers and grandfathers. Of course, you would want the women back in the days because those women got cheated on. They had no access to money. They had no access to take care of themselves. So of course you would want to abuse those women
and yet still somebody like me that makes the amount of money that I make think that they're more deserving than you guys.
Your money don't matter.
It doesn't matter. All the attention and the care and the affection that they're looking for, they should get it 20 times fold more than how you guys are, because I'm telling you from how I was raised up amongst the women that I've seen, the women that are real wives, the women that know how to treat men good.
You're sitting over here talking about real wives as if you even have a wife.
I'm talking about men that's supposed to treat women with the care and affection.
Edward, if nobody's validating you how much you have enough money in your life,
I'm not talking about in general. I'm not talking about just me.
I'm talking about money. Your money. man is benefiting you and those women you're sleeping with, not us that you're not sleeping with, first of all. Second of all, it's not a flex. You think having money is a flex. Women are getting the money now.
You don't even know. The women on this panel probably have money too.
Showing you love would not be a flex either, correct?
That is a flex. So you're taking care of your kids. But then the thing is, you taking care of your kids is not the only thing.
You're only picking out one out of everything that I said. Taking care of your kids financially
is okay, but you have to take care of your kids also. Their mental stability matters. Those are the kids who are going to grow up being broken because you're broken. You are a broken man. You're insinuating long time ago women who are already broken.
Can I ask you, hold on a second.
Trying to tie
how many women, how many women cry?
Your daughters are going to be broken.
That man
your daughters
don't
are going to be the side. Your daughters are going to be the side chicks.
How many women cry because what?
No, how many women complain and say
why did you drop her? Tiana, did you drop her?
They have fathers in home.
No, I didn't. There's another moderator here now.
What does that have to do with anything?
Who's the moderator?
What you're misunderstanding what I am saying.
Oh, is it David?
What I'm saying to you is what the women should have gotten back in those days for how they was at women. They were real women.
But they got nothing. Even if they were a real woman, they got nothing.
That's what I'm trying to say. But yet still, they did far more than what the women now do. You have washing machine. You have washing machine. You have dishwashers. You have all of those things, and you still complain.
What do you mean we still complain? So because we have the washing machines, we shouldn't complain about you guys cheating?
You're misunderstanding and you're taking the whole scenario a completely different way emotionally. Listen to what I'm saying.
No, Edwards, you're just not making sense.
I'm not gonna be goated because
the easier life gets for you
just guys, not making sense.
But the thing is, a man, I feel like you don't value.
Are you trying to say that the women those days
and
did
women
more
don't
work
value
than
men
us?
for
We're
who
gonna
they
accept
are.
No,
that.
you don't.
But we're not gonna say those women.
I value women just as much as they value me.
Because you keep saying
you make no sense, Edwards.
Wash dishes, they don't do this. You're just valuing women.
I never said they don't. I said they complain about it while it's much easier.
So we shouldn't complain, even if it's easy. What does that have to do with anything?
I think we need to do one at a time because we have another moderator in. She's not going to take it if it's rowdy and everyone is just talking. So maybe just do it one at a time. Is it Edwards? No, I think it's Mindset next. Mindset has been waiting, I think. Mindset, please go ahead. You have the mic.
To be honest, I don't even want to talk because like the conversation keeps going in circles and circles. And to me, I feel like a lot of men, they don't value women for being women, for bringing a feminine energy. They only value us for our vaginas and value us for how well we can wash clothes and cook food. This is basically what Edward is saying, that he valued those women back in the day because they couldn't say anything. They couldn't leave their husbands. They were getting slapped around in the house. And because they couldn't leave, it was okay. I'm just done. There's like no hope. I don't think I will ever get remarried again because of the type of the mindset that I see these men having in the market. It's ridiculous. I'm done.
Edwards, you can. No, sorry. Hugh has something to say before we go back to Edwards, just from the point Edwards made.
Honestly, guys, I feel like Edwards just goes in circles, in circles, in circles, in circles. He doesn't say anything of sustenance, anything of value. Literally just speaks about women's bodies. That's it. Or like, oh, you guys wash the dishes and you guys clean and you guys are complaining, blah, blah, blah. I'm not done talking, Edward. I'm not done. Thank you. And it's just like, we're not getting anywhere. We're not getting to a point. And there was something that Edward said earlier where he was like, oh, I can get 10 of you guys on here or something like that. Like, you are just so self-absorbed and you feel like you're just that guy because apparently you have so much money and you have all this and you have that. Like, no, people don't care about that, Edward, just so you know.
Okay, anybody, wait, Edward, we're responding to you now. So, mind blowing. You have anything to say, and then we'll come.
We have a new person. We can allow them to speak. King
wants to say. Go ahead. You have the mic.
Edward. Edward. Let me give you some shocking news.
Mind blowing. King has unmuted. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead, King.
Hello. Good morning, guys. Thank you for bringing me up, Tiana. You see, this conversation, I feel like it's a very open conversation, and we should not get it personal because people, it takes a lot of guts and strength for somebody to come up and share their experience or their life story on life. So let's get less judgmental about people's opinion or whatever they've experienced in their life. You want to speak, talk about your own, and move on. You don't have to particularly insult people and say hurtful words to people just based off their opinion. Okay.
No one said anything hurtful, King David.
The lady down below me was kind of going on Edwards and saying all sorts. I mean, it's not fair. The fact that you don't agree with his opinion doesn't mean that you should.
But isn't that your own personal bias that you're using against what she said?
No. Like you
Sounds like
can
it.
say no. Just watch. Hold on.
Let him finish his point.
You can say whatever you want to say, but that's your opinion. You can express it. Allow him to express his opinion as well. You don't have to agree. We're all coming from different backgrounds, different experiences. So trying to make somebody see your point and agree with your point on a life of how many hours is not, I don't think is something that is possible. Okay. So let's just have an open conversation and try to learn from each other. That's all I'm on about.
Okay, so I'll speak to that, please, Tiana.
One second, Kayanzi. It's mind blowing next, and then we'll come to you, Kayanzi, and then we'll go to Edwards because it's Edwards' submission that is causing all of this. And I don't know where Rose is, so I don't know, King, if you can message.
She's sleeping. She's probably asleep.
We're gonna round up the live. I don't think I have the. Anyway, let's continue and see how it goes then, because yeah, mind blowing. Please say what you want to say, and then we go to Kayanzi, and then we'll come back to Edwards. Let's go to Kayanzi. Mind blowing is muted.
Okay, so I'll speak to that a little bit. It was me going off on this live. The reason why I am speaking to Edward's, personal experiences is because he's using his personal experiences to interject with our topic. And whatever he's saying within his personal experiences is kind of like directly also speaking in an opposite direction to our topic. So now we still going to be speaking into his experience to speak it on the other way around to really circle back to our topic. So I did not feel, I am not attacking him personally, but he brought up his his personal experience to prove to our topic, something to our topic. So that's why I'm going back and forth within his personal experience. The personal experience Tiana talked about did not really, spoke different from our topic, but then still aligned within what we're saying. So we did not really go back and forth with her in her personal experience because it did not really contradict with our topic that we're talking about. So I'm not attacking him, but because he's using his personal experience to really contradict with our topic, so that's what I'm picking out on. And when I really retaliated on him, telling him about his daughters, he's talking about women in a whole, and these are young girls who are also going to become women. So whatever way that, maybe you took it as if I was attacking him, if that's how you felt like because of just coming here on our topic, but if you feel like I was attacking him, I'm sorry about that.
I'm sorry about that. Okay, so thank you, Kayanzi, for apologizing, just in case if it was taken wrongly. That's great. That's what we like to see. Mind blowing. Yes, you have the mic.
Yeah, yes, I did. I wanted to address Edward because he kept saying, I make so much money, I have all of the money and blah, 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 how much. But breaking news, you're not Jay-Z. You would not be on this panel talking if you were rich. And if you were a little rich, it's not much. And the way the economy is right now, if you live like I would like to live, that I fend for myself and live, then just a decent house is $500,000 today. So I don't know what kind of money you're talking about, Jay-Z. I really don't. You kept throwing that in the air, and I just kind of like, what's that got to do with your principles and morals? And the people that we bring, the little young people that we're producing and putting out there. That has nothing to do with that. So you got your morals and things kind of mixed up. I'm not trying to insult you, and I do respect what you're saying. I want to hear that. I want to hear exactly how men think, and the class of men think, certain class of men, the way they think, because that's a big awareness a great big awareness. When you open your mouth and you say certain things, that our antenna goes up, goes all the way up, and then it gets circulated into to the next female. When she goes in the hair salon, did you hear what this? Let me tell you about this guy. There was a guy on the platform the other day I was listening to, and I just couldn't do anything but shake my head. Because he said, oh, these black women, they think they don't need us anymore. Let's just go and date the other race and we'll show them what they need. And I'm like, this guy, is he saying that? You don't find other races say that. And when my mother, she was in that category with 4 children, and my dad just did what he wanted to do. He was the breadwinner, and she stayed home and take care of all of us because somebody has to be home when you have 4 children. And my mother was in the day and era where the law didn't stand up for women. My neighbor, I used to I was a little girl looking at the neighbor, the husband, and give her a black eye. You call the police, and the police say that's a domestic problem. Until women stood up for themselves here in the United States and said no more. It has to be a law against abuse. You marry somebody, you love somebody, and then they turn around and give you a black eye. Really? Oh, I land my planes. That's disgusting.
Oh,
Back to you.
So in the comment section, you're saying you can't be happy.
Can I answer 1 second? Is Edward's turn. So, Edwards, give us your point again, because I don't know.
I have two daughters and I have 2 sons, right? And the same way how I want my daughters to be treated is the same way how I want my sons to be treated. I want my sons to find good women. But in today's society, I am scared of the disadvantages that statistically is proven, especially where I live at right now, that could happen to him. Now, my daughters, the most thing that I have to fear for my daughters is typically if a man is going to put their hands in them to be abusive. If you understand. So it's not to say that I do not love my daughter or that I wish for some guy to treat them terrible. But if my daughters are not respectful and feminine, and they are disrespectful, and they treat men a certain way and think that men are not going to stand up for themselves, I do not wish for my son to be slapped or beat up or be mistreated by no woman. Right? It's just the same way. That is all I'm saying to you. But what I'm also trying to say is in 2024, just the same way how women do not see benefit in marriage, men do not see benefit from marriage. What I'm also saying is,
set an example.
I've been going over that the whole time. Okay. If I say to you that one of the benefit of marriage for men, right, is the simple fact of sex, meaning that they don't have to go different places to get diseases to come home. So therefore, they should be content in the relationship that they have sexually, because that is what it's supposed to be about. He's going to go out. He's going to do the protection, the provision. He's going to help you with the kids. He's going to do all of those things because that is what it is. But women are making money, so they do not feel they need men, right? They do not need a man because they're making the money. So therefore, they're going to go their own way or they're going to do whatnot. So you feel like marriage does not benefit you now, right? So therefore, you take sex off the table. You do not put those in a context and say, well, that is why men cheat on you and all those things. But yes, you do have men that cheat in relationships that women are giving them sex. I'm not saying that, but I'm also saying there's also a counterbalance to that also, that paternity fraud is so high that you have to be an idiot man to think that women are this walking pedestal. You also have to stop saying that just because a man does not agree with how you feel or what you have to say, that what he says or how he feels is also invalid, because we have eyes, we do see things. We just might not always be as outspoken about it as women are, because if you do, you start being called these names and all of those things. You don't like to be looked down upon a certain way when you say certain things. You want us to hear you. You want us to understand where you're coming from. You want us how to try to find better way, as to say, for instance, to make me want to change my mind to be a wife, to find a wife. It's not that I do not want to get married. But what I'm saying to you is, remember back then, till death do us part is an oath, right? Now, let's say, for instance, in today's time, if I know that I will not abuse you, you still have a higher chance of leaving the relationship just because you are not happy, while the man will stay in the relationship not happy. Because our happiness is not indicative of what a relationship is, a marriage is. A marriage is a sacrifice. The woman sacrifices a lot to be home to take care of the family, while the man goes out to do what he takes to make sure that you live comfortably in your home. While the washing machine, the dishwashers, and all of those things are created to make the home easy as possible. But the conditions of outside is not as safe as it is home. Now, not many women are gonna change to take the work that the man do. Yeah, you're gonna do the easier job, but you're not really gonna. And most people, they're gonna talk about the art because those are what it is. When wartime comes and all of those former things, most men are pushed up on the front line in certain things, and that's what we're trying to say. I'm not trying to minimize what women go through. We're just minimizing, and we're trying to understand the balance that men feel certain way, women feel certain way. But if you only want to hear your side of it, I am not minimizing, because I understand what you're saying. But what you're saying is that you also don't think that what we're doing is worth the sacrifice, that we go outside of the world and say, for instance, if you go out and you work hard, let's say, for instance, if I go out and I'm in construction and I have to lift up 100 pounds to pain my muscles and hurt my back, and possibly most injuries that happen to men are under work in the outside. Not the same for women. That is also one of the main reasons why women live longer. The type of work that we do is much more harder.
No.
And I mean, if you go to a construction site, how much women will you see working, building on a daily?
No, I'm not saying we lift heavier things. I'm not saying that's right. Okay, sorry if you mean.
Yeah. So
what I'm saying is we
women
don't
who
live
do work on
longer.
construction sites.
Yeah, we don't live longer because we do less hard work.
What you do to your body. Men take more risk on their body, and what
are you kidding me? Do you know what it is like to carry a kid? To push out a kid?
You carry a kid. You carry the kid for 9 months. Yes, I know it's very indicative and it's hard.
Do you know those 9 months may double up even what you do? 9 months to the next 9 months to the next 9 months. You said you have 4 kids. Do you know what it is like to push out the first kid, second, third, fourth, and do you know what that is?
God made you. God designed you for that specifically.
Yes, and also God designed you. Also, God designed men and gave them that strength.
You can't blame God. You can't blame men for God's design.
Okay,
exactly.
so
You cannot blame women for God's design. God designed you with strength to do those kinds of work.
So exactly. But we're doing it. But
we're complaining that you're doing more harder work than us.
What men are not complaining about doing harder work.
You just complain right now.
But you
how did I? I'm not
you
complaining.
Said, oh, you know, that kind of work. Hey, Edward, I'm not trying to even minimize any hard work these men do. I'm not going there. But the fact that you're going there with women, that's why we are going down that road. The thing is, I heard you in the first part when you're talking, we complement each other. Let's just say women and men complement each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you're not going to live in that way of complementing each other, each other's strength and weaknesses, then you don't have us anymore. That's the only difference that is there between a woman then and a woman now.
Okay, so let me ask you. Why is it that if you're making $100,000 and I'm making $0, but I will be faithfully to you, I probably will not have access to you at all?
A
Are you
man's
kidding
job
me?
is to
Then
provide, protect.
remember, no,
A
no,
How
no,
are
man's
you
job
going to
is
be
not
the
to
head?
provide. It's
How? Yes,
2024. A man's job is not to provide and
it's
to
in the
protect.
Bible. How are you going to
Not
be the
everybody
head?
believes in the Bible.
How are you going to be the head of the household if you can't even do the
You
basics,
can't lead.
protect
You
and
can't
provide?
lead a horse. You
Edward, your
You
can't
can't
lead
question,
a. You
lead
can't
if
lead a
you
Edward,
horse
can't
your
in the
question,
desert
provide,
to water if it
because
Edward,
doesn't want to.
provision would mean
You
that your
cannot
money
lead a horse
will.
to
guys,
water in the
guys,
You
desert if it
can't.
does not want
You
guys,
to
can't.
follow.
can we just let Edward finish, and then when it gets to your turn, you can counter.
He's been talking. He's
Yeah,
been
okay.
talking
Let's
for
give
a
him 1 minute.
while.
Let's just give him 1 minute more to finish, and
but they
then
said we're on open
we
mic
can move
here
on.
somehow, so that's why we're interjecting.
Okay, because it will just end up like going back and forth, back and
Go
forth.
ahead and speak, people. It's
Yeah.
open mic.
Okay, Edward, you said that men do all of these hard jobs.
Women do her
Man,
job too.
let me tell you what's hard. It's hard to have a baby, carry a baby for 9 months, go in that labor. That's hard. That's hard.
Yes, it is. You also know what's hard? Lifting up 300 pounds every single day, or 150
They have machines
pounds.
to do that. They have forklifts.
There's machines.
Like you said, we have washing
People,
machines.
let me ask you: people still do not die from those? Also, people don't get unalive from those.
Oh
Also?
my
Also, you think
God.
women
There's
don't
I'm just
people
die?
saying.
that
I'm
have
just
hard
saying.
jobs and die from hard jobs every
Women
single day.
die for having
It's a
babies.
tit. You're playing.
What you're
You're playing
talking
tit
about
for
is so
tat. I'm not playing
nonsensical.
tit
There's
for
women
tat.
that
I'm
do
not playing
hard
Edward,
jobs.
tit for tat.
imagine this. Women give birth, sometimes they die, or sometimes they even still give birth
Yes, they do.
when men are hitting,
Do you
when men
know?
are beating them.
Hold on. Can I
They
say
are
something?
pregnant,
It's
but
not the
Do you
same
know
men kick
thing.
that?
our
Do you know that
stomachs.
more women? Hold on. Do you know that more women die from giving?
So it's actually 50-50 if you're pregnant and the chances of surviving that and coming out everyone alive, you and the baby, is 50-50 chance. It's not the same as men working or physically, doing physical work. And speaking of this, so I think what I wanted to ask Edwards is, in this day and age, as you said, that men are not the providers, and it's almost so. What more are men bringing to the table when they say that they are the
Why
head?
do?
Because
Why do? Why?
historically, when men said they were heads, for example, they were the key providers in many cases. Oh, I'm minding my daughter today. So in many cases, men have been the providers. Now it's shifting. In fact, you said it in your own words that, it's 2024. Men and women are now providers in their homes. In fact, this mindset that, I don't even think it's 100% that men were providers, because I've heard even on this app with a lot of men come and say, it was my mom that sent me to school. It was my mom that paid my school fees, particularly Africans, right? Oh, my dad was just drinking and going out and taking girls and drinking alcohol. It wasn't even present. So many men have said, my mom was the breadwinner. She was the one that sent all of us to school. She would do a trade. She would come in with the money. So back then, I feel like a lot more women were actually breadwinners, but they were hiding it. And because of the societal construct, they would not come out and say it. So they would just pretend and say, it's my husband that did this. But it's a lie. They were the ones. But anyways,
What
with
do
that being
football
said,
players say?
Yeah.
What do
But-
football players they say? Hi, mom.
exactly. All of them go back to their mom because they knew that their
Do
moms
you-
were the
do you
ones
know other than-
that it was their moms that took care of them and also provided for them financially, whereas some of the dads were just, I don't know, drinking and doing all sorts. But anyways, I do still feel that majority of men back then historically were the key providers, obviously. And so what I think, and I feel like that's what makes them the number one reason, like, I mean, as an African, because I'm African, you speak to an African man, the first thing they will say to you is, I'm the provider, I'm the head. They tie it to the finances. But today, it's getting close, not 50-50 yet, but it's getting close where a lot more women are doing more and they are the breadwinners in their homes. Even if they will not come out and tell you, they are earning more. I've seen a lot of, even in the UK here, a lot of homes where the wives are the doctors and they're the ones funding the mortgages and everything, but the husbands are taxi drivers. How do you want to make a close enough income to a taxi driver and a care worker? The income is, you can obviously see that some women are the breadwinners and they're bringing the money to the home. So my question is,
He said we don't do that in ladies.
no, we
don't
still do
provide.
that. And so
He
my
said we
question,
don't provide.
wait, let me, yeah. So that's what I want to ask Edwards, is that now the dynamics have changed where men are no longer the sole providers or sole breadwinners in many homes. So what else can a man bring in to make him the head of that home? Aside finances? Because even if you look at data, you will see that a lot more women are doing more there. And I know even around me here, they're working and they're putting the money in mortgages in the home. There's no such thing as my money is my money, let me go and buy Brazilian hair or Gucci bags. No, they're funding the home lifestyle for their children as well. So in that case, what would you say men should bring in that would make them remain the heads of that home? Aside finances, do you have an answer to that? If you don't, you can
you're also that is also
no, but don't
correct.
Tell me what I miss here. Can you answer my question? No. Okay, let me put it this way. If you can't answer the question, just say I can't. Don't answer. Yeah, so my question is this. I don't want us to go in circles. My question is very clear. Do you know things that men can bring in to make them the heads of their homes
besides money?
Besides money, because there has been a change, evolution, right? There's been a change. The dynamics are changing. Women are doing more. They're working. They are now even providing just as much as men, or even close. You would find that globally, a lot of homes would survive on a 2-income households, where the man and woman is working and bringing in their finances together. So my question is, going forward, do you know other things that men can now bring in to still make them the head of that home, aside the finances? And if you don't, it's fine. We keep it pushing, but I don't want to do it back and forth. Do you have an answer to that question? Thank you.
It's not back and forth. And it's as I said, you cannot lead a donkey in the desert to water if it doesn't want to go there. You can only lead a camel. So if she does not want to be led, you cannot force her. You can. It's something. It's a choice that has to be made. So if a woman does not want to be lead, can I force you? Hold on.
You're not answering the question.
Can I force you to do what you don't want to do?
No, that's not my question. I'm saying that forget about the woman now. Just for a second, just think just about the man, your fellow men. Forget about the woman for a second. My question is directly to you as a man. Aside finances that perhaps may help you to lead your home before, historically, as I've said, a lot of men, I'm the provider, I'm the head, and it was easier for them because they were the key providers. So my question directly to you as a man, just leave the women for a second. As a man, do you know other things that you feel men can start to bring in and exhibit in their homes to show that they can still lead that home? Forget about the follower for now. You as the leader, what other things do you feel that they should bring?
Structure and discipline.
Thank you. Other things, amongst others, structure, discipline. What else?
There are many other things, but if you don't want to follow those, you can't. You see, that's what I'm trying to say. You're looking for something that, if I'm trying to tell you from my point of view, you're looking for something else other than what I'm going to try to tell you. I can still give you structure and discipline and you don't follow it.
No, how are you going to give us structure and discipline when you have nothing to show us that you have discipline, structure, and anything?
Okay, hold on a second. So now, if you look at me and say, for instance, if I say to you that I make more money than majority of people in the United States, correct? If I look at you and I tell you that I have my degree, if I look and I tell you that I have hold on, see, now you're yawning, you're asking me.
No, I'm sorry. It's 2:41.
If those are not something that you want to follow, because to me those are good things. One, I'm not in poverty. Nobody wants to be in poverty.
Of course.
I have a home in Jamaica, I have a home in England, and I have one in the United States. My house is valued. My house is valued, and it's not that I'm trying to brag. My house is valued over $600,000, and there are people that has way better than that. Correct? So what I'm saying to you is, if what I'm trying to say is not ideal, that someone want to follow those or to live better, what can I say or do? Because not everybody might not think that my way of living is considered a good way to follow.
But that's you.
We're not talking about finances, because you just mentioned a house in Kenya, a house in Jamaica, a house in heaven, a house in hell. We are talking about besides finances.
And if I tell you that I'm a very involved father in my kid's life, and I'm a very involved with the person that I'm with, or at least I try to be, What else would you expect from me other than to say that, hey, if you do not think that those are good examples that you can follow me, I am not going to force you. That's why I also say to you,
try to do
What
good
are they
things
trying
for
to
you
follow?
too. When you
Destruction?
try,
Because you
what
said,
destruction?
let me tell you what
I
destruction
have
I'm talking
never not
about.
had light, water, and food.
That's the whole point. You're still mentioning finances. You don't know that there's more than finance. You guys gave us finances, but you can't give, you can't solely base
I
it
am a
on that
very
anymore.
God-fearing man, Claudia. Thank you.
Oh, God fearing.
That's the only person that I fear.
Okay, God fearing. And when we start going into Christianity right now, it says,
I am not a
oh
Christian.
goodness. Okay, when we go into God fearing, it says your helper. You need to love your helper like you love the church. But then you have two baby mamas, not married.
What does that have anything to do? My first baby mama was not the one. I took my kid and I raised him when he was 2 years old when we split.
Oh, okay. So your baby mamas are not. And then, well, how about the part you said I can sleep with 10 other women outside the marriage?
I am just saying that with the standards that women have, if they see money, I can.
Yeah, you can. But
You see,
have
the problem.
self-discipline to
No.
not
You see,
to.
the
You
problem
talked about
is,
you have discipline. Anyway, back to Tiana
no,
because Tiana
you
simply asked the
took it a
question.
little bit personal. When I said that, I wasn't talking as if that is something that I would do. I was saying it's something that is, and we have to stop acting like it is not so.
Oh, okay, cool. It's something that can happen, but if you don't have the self-discipline at all, then what is it that you're living as discipline?
What I have is discipline. I want to live comfortable once I get older.
What?
Comfortable, but you don't have comfortability you're giving to your partners, like peace.
My partner live comfortable in peace.
In terms of finances, right? You're giving them a home, you're giving them food, and right? Is that what you're talking about as comfortable?
I don't cheat. I'm very faithful.
Oh, that's good. Okay.
But if you're not providing and protecting, how's
I
that
provide
woman
and I
gonna be?
protect.
What?
How are you emotionally protecting them?
How's that woman gonna be feeling safe living under your roof? So would that woman can I say something? Would that woman be working in the home if you're not providing and protecting?
Yeah, she gonna work. She works.
Oh, that's good.
She works and you have all that money?
Why shouldn't she work?
Why should she? If she has you as a man,
if she decides to leave, she can take care of herself.
What?
Anyway, circling back to what you said before, when you said you have 2 sons, you have 2 daughters, but you don't want any of them to be living any abusive, life. Your sons don't have to worry about even being with abusive women. If you treat them to be I think you call it good action men.
Set an example.
To really be able to draw their boundaries, to know that, marriage is, when you say you're choosing marriage, when you say sacrifices, there's some things you can't really sacrifice for. You can't sacrifice your own emotional well-being. You can't sacrifice your own physical well-being, regardless of whether you're a woman or not. So if it happens to happen in marriage, pack up and go. As in pack up and go. There's nothing like you guys, just because you guys think you stomach that kind of abuse from certain kind of women, you feel like we should also be stomaching it because you guys take it in, because you sacrifice and stay in. Of which some of you, when you even stay, you're staying, but you're cheating at the same time. And it's still out of fear to not be losing your money.
One thing, Edward, the problem that I have, first of all, your children live in a broken home.
My home is not broken.
Yeah,
it's already broken.
Not with them.
My home is not broken.
It is broken if you're not in the same relationship as
relationship together.
Do you know that single father home is better than even a dual parent home?
It's only better.
Your previous wife
and the wife,
your previous wife's kids are suffering because they're living in a broken home. They don't have you present. They don't have you there.
That's
my
right.
son is 19 and my other kids live with me.
It doesn't matter what age they are. They are broken. It's a broken marriage that you have.
They're not mentally fully developed. And what did you leave them? What you didn't leave them at 19. They were young.
What? My
The
son came to,
statistic,
hold on, my son came to live with me when he was 2 years old.
He lived with you. He did not live with his mother. He was still living back and forth. That's what they call as brokenness. It's the reason why you guys give statistics that most kids that grew up with their mothers are in a broken. But when they are living with you, they're not in a broken situation. I don't understand.
selfish.
You may not
He's being
understand. You
selfish.
think when the kids are living with you, it's not broken. But when they grow up with single mothers, it's broken.
And
I never said that.
and that cycle might carry over to him in his relationships. He's gonna have some issues, and that's gonna all come back when he tried to struggle through life trying to maintain a relationship with other women.
Huh? So if his mother does not want to be with me no longer, and the mother does not want him, what else am I? Hold on, what am I supposed to do?
Of course, you have to leave.
I took up the hold on. I took up the responsibility
to leave
and take it exactly. And I took the responsibility of my son and take care of my son.
Which is okay. Living is not a problem. The issue, it doesn't also take away from the fact that you're living in a broken home. You understand what I'm saying? You left for your safety, yes, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is still a broken home.
So if you're in a relationship and it's not working out well, as a woman, you have the right to divorce and leave, correct?
It is okay for both men and women. We are not saying it is wrong for you to leave, but it doesn't take away from another fact that you're leaving a broken home behind.
Explain to me, in this situation, statistically, how it's a bad broken home for him. Sometimes a broken home can be a good thing, depends on how you look at it. If the
It's only a good thing when the father. It's only a good thing when the father is and the mother is not getting along. So you have
Cloud, we're not judging him. We're not judging him, Cloud. We're not judging. He's stating the fact that he left. Two things can still be happening at the same time. The truth is he left. And then another truth is he's in a broken home. He left a broken. Right now he's in a restricted relationship. It's still a broken home for that young man who's 19 years. That's the fact. We're not judging. And I'm not judging you for leaving, because that's what I'm also telling women. When things hit the fan, you gotta go.
But you also have to understand that his mom stayed 10 minutes away, where he go to his mom.
That's no good. That's no good.
No. What are you talking about? He sees his mom just as much.
No.
Are they all in USA or they're in UK?
This is United States.
All of them are in UK, right? I mean US.
Yes.
Okay, cool. But still, the fact that they don't see that whole reunion of two, how the cuddles that you guys, there's something magical about two people being together, you guys. I'm not saying it's okay for people to leave and stuff. We should all just, work on just living in a fully functioning, health functioning relationship, because a man has some benefit they have over their kids, and then so is a woman. And then two people together, these kids seeing all this love and all this unbrokenness, it does really benefit them to be good citizens within our society. But the fact that now it has to go back and forth and they're not seeing these cuddles between you two, it does give them a trauma. There's a certain trauma it does give them, and all the traumas that we have are 4 traumas. We have freeze, flight, we have fawning. So you never know your son is going through fawning, and you don't know if he's going through freezing. You don't know if he's going through fight or flight. So those are 4 trauma responses that we have. And those we don't get away from them until when we get those childhood neglect, childhood abandonment, childhood abuse.
Okay, so let's hold on. Let's check out. We're gonna check out a broken home, and we're gonna compare. I'm just gonna give you an example. My first baby mom has a daughter, right? That is 2 years older than my son. She got pregnant when she is 14 years old. My son graduated from school. My son is 19 years old and he has his own home. She still lives at home with her mom. My son has his own car. Same thing.
And you still listen.
You're comparing.
So what I'm trying to say to you is, when you say broken home, you have to say, well, it's a separated home. When you're broken, are you talking about coming from a bad home, or are you talking?
You're trying to justify.
This is it. You're justifying that the fact that a child living with a mother has more disadvantages than a child living with a father. I think that's what you're trying to justify.
But it's statistically true also.
Okay, if it's statistically true, that's okay. But it doesn't take away from the fact that both of them are broken homes.
Okay.
And then you being able to see the effects more on a woman's side, which is where your daughter is, it doesn't take away from the fact that this young man here is going through fawning. And you should look what fawning is. And
she made that choice to separate.
What? And this fawning may end up playing out just like what's playing out with you right now.
Huh?
He's suppressed. You're not seeing it outwardly. You're saying, oh, my son has this, has a home. You never even know. You're telling us this, that you helped your son get all those things. Because you're richer than your woman.
She also helped him too.
And there's a fact here
this young man is going to, I'm not saying he's going to, but I'm saying he may go through the same things that you're going through, or even worse, to be able to just suppress and have that whole thing of fawning and then just outbursting out of it. Because most of them you're going to be outbursting the same way that you're really outbursting right now. And outbursting doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be shouting or stuff. You're not going to be able to take in information, or even not taking in positively, taking in critiques, just because you think someone is trying to attack you or coming for you. Like most of you think we are coming for him. Abuse comes in so many different ways. He's broken. That young man, regardless of how much he has a home, he has a car, he's broken. He may even be now already having like 20 baby mamas, but you don't even know that he has those baby mamas going on. So I'm saying, do not say that he's not broken just because he has a house and a car. That's what Tiana told you. Besides anything but money, what is it that you can provide? And this is what we need all men to be accountable for. You guys are failing to match up the emotional part of it.
And Kianzi, another part is too, a research came out that Edwards was trying to point out that, kids that are raised within single moms do worse than kids that are raised with single fathers do better, is that they are finding out those kids that were raised within the single men's home is because those men had a helpmate. Either it was a girlfriend, it was a grandmother, it was a mother, but mostly women don't really have that helpmate. And he's sitting here bragging,
that is not true. That is not true.
It is true. It is true.
Hold on.
You did not raise, after that you were with that young woman, you had another woman right after. A lot of today's society, men are pushing other men to not date single mothers. So they are doing it by themselves.
So on average, mothers after relationships, they do date other guys far quicker that they've been in. So let's say, for instance, hold on, it's not my fault. Hold on. It's not my fault that after her, I found someone that I sticked with for 18 years. That is called stability.
Have you married them?
Hold on. And she did not. So what you're saying is that you have to understand is that the man finds stability to make sure that the family structure continues while she leaves and she goes from one guy to another guy to another guy.
Because you guys play,
and that is typically how it always is.
You know what? You guys be playing
that stability is what she's talking about. That stability is what she's talking about.
I can't do nothing about that.
No, you can't do anything about it. That's okay. But she's still talking about that stability.
Yes,
you slid in her life and gave her children.
Are you married to that person you're with for 18 years? Are you married to the person you're with for 18 years?
Me? No. Take a woman into yourself and call her your wife.
She's not your wife, right?
She's my wife.
But you've been calling her baby mama like 2 times ago.
I was talking to the first one.
You said you have 2 baby mamas.
Well, 2, yes. I have 2 kids with 2 moms.
Exactly. Then you said it was relationships that
she's a baby mom. The wife, it's same difference.
You say you had 2 girls and 2 boys.
Then he said he had 2 baby mamas. And then you talked about, you have baby mamas and you're sleeping around when you're married. And you're like, no, the baby mamas, you had to move on from them.
Huh?
You said yourself that you had to move on from the 2 baby mamas. But then you're saying...
I said from the first one.
No, you said 2 baby mamas.
I said I had to move from the first one. The first one, she wanted separation.
So if you have
So
two baby mamas and she's why are you calling her baby mama when she's your wife?
Why did she want to
Because
separate?
we're not married to the court. I do not believe in marriage to the court.
Oh, so you're not married to the what?
No, I am not married. Not through the court. I'm married under the eyes of God.
Eyes of God, what means in church?
Yeah, I think that's church marriage.
Are you telling me that church used to always marry people?
Oh, you see, you guys, no.
Let's not switch the conversation here. Like, let's stay on topic of what we were just talking about.
And then you pray to God, oh, God, this is my wife.
My father is a Rasta. I was raised a little bit different.
Okay, they have a different type of religion, I think. If you're
no, it's not a different type of. He said under the eyes of God.
Yeah, but their ways might not involve church. Eyes of God doesn't necessarily mean church. If he's saying he's a Rastafarian, they have a different type of religion. But can I just say
he doesn't do that either? But we should rest our case.
It's personal, so I feel like it's okay if he wants to keep that. But yeah, there are other types of marriages aside law. I mean, even from Africa, where Nigeria, there's traditional customary marriage that is actually recognized in Nigeria, but not abroad or the Western world, unless you have the courts, the legal ones. But there are a lot of people married in Nigeria where they've just done the traditional, process or just the bride price. Yeah.
Did you know those traditional marriages are still also put into court? Because you traditionally get married, but they go register it in courts.
Yeah, so there is, in Nigeria, yes, there's customary, but that's not recognized. If you marry traditionally and it's customary, that's no, you need the courts, for example.
Exactly.
If you're coming to UK.
All marriages are made up by courts.
No, that's what I'm saying. Those that are not leaving Nigeria or trying to go outside the shores of Nigeria do not need to prove anything. That's what I'm saying. There are a lot of people, for example, in Nigeria that are married through the traditional process, and they are not living there to prove. Usually, it's those of us that wants to come here, and you need to prove that you're married for documents. That's when that comes in. So there are a lot of people living in Nigeria. They do not need to prove anything, and they're just married within the traditional sphere. And similar, I think, to Rastafarians or whatever, all other religion, I think Asians, they have theirs. But it's usually when you need to prove that you're married that I think a lot of people do the legal side. But to be honest, I don't even think I would advise anyone to marry without doing the legal side, regardless of the geographical region, because you get protected.
Because you want the benefits of what comes with marriage.
Exactly. So you're protected, I feel, much better, because the customary or the traditional or the eyes of God that we're saying would vary, and it would depend. Whereas for the legal side, it's clear what would happen if you're divorcing.
Can I ask Edward one more question?
Well, can I just quickly say that the stats that, because I've been debunking these stats over and over again on this Black app, that single fathers raising, I don't know how they put it, that single fathers raise better children than single mothers is a myth. It is not true. It is a big fat myth. It is a myth. There is no data to back that up. There isn't
data to back it up.
So people say it based on stereotypes. Oh yeah, I saw this one, because there seem to be a lot more single mothers. Or I think there are actually a lot more single mothers, because again, as you can imagine, there is the bond of childbirth, and a lot of women would not be able to up and
even
leave.
one man can impregnate like 10 women.
Exactly. A lot of women would not be able to up and leave once they give birth. So there's that bond. For men, it's easier to walk away, and so a lot more men walk away. And so I think because
those men are dependent.
And let me just land this, right? And I think because of that, that fuels this stereotype that, all the children we're seeing going to prison. You see, if you go and look, it's single mothers. I hear that.
It's
but
not everywhere.
I hear that, but let me land this. But if you're going by data, I put it to you, Edwards, that you cannot provide or prove any data that would tell you that single fathers raise better children. It is a myth. But what you can prove, or what you would find on data, is a 2-parent household versus 1-parent household. So if you're comparing a single parent, and I say single parent because it can be a father or a mother, single parent, right? Compared to a household where you have father and mother involved, those children do better. That's what you would find on data, 2-parent. But between the single parents, trying to compare fathers and mothers, and then now come and say fathers are doing better, that's a big fat myth. Let me not call it a lie. But anyways, I mute.
You know why they always come up with those kind of myths? That's why I told you men usually transacted on shaming, belittling, gaslighting, and fear mongering women. So now that when they start running you on that side, oh, women, you don't know how to grow your children, so you need to stay in marriages. They're just trying to back up the fact that they need to abuse you so you can stay in marriages. My dear, if you cared so much about your child growing up so rightfully, you shouldn't have been cheating. You should have been just loyal to your wife and then creating the peace, because you have to provide the peace as a man, and I'm gonna nurture it as a woman. And I'm not saying there are no women that are abusive. Yes, they're abusive women, but give me the peace.
But you're implying that all divorce faults are because of men.
My kids got this, my kids got that, her kids don't have nothing, as if it's some type of way of saying that you were raising your kids by yourself. I think it was a way for you to get back at her and say, see, you shouldn't have left me, or
no.
And that's what most of them do.
Why use that?
And you know why they almost come back and say, give me my kids, give me my kids. I think women need to give those kids. You women, when you're living, I think we should be leave those women, leave those kids in that home. These things of this for abusing your single mothers, leave those babies behind. You need to match these men's energy.
A lot of women would not be detached from the
so
a lot of women.
Leave the. I'm telling
A lot of women won't
you need to
date
stop
men
being
with a bunch
emotional.
of children.
I know.
I wouldn't want to date a man that had a bunch of children.
Exactly. So the thing is, leave those kids with those men. Leave those kids behind. Stop being emotional women.
Don't date men with kids, you guys.
In the United States,
Leave the kids behind.
In the United States,
they raise them better. Leave them.
You will have a minimal of men. Let's say, for instance, you will have 20 men that might have, let's say he'll have 15 kids, right? With different women. But you will have a woman, more women will have 5 kids with 5 different men, right? Which is at a larger, it's at a larger variety than it is for men.
That's like an animal.
What did he say?
Dropping seeds everywhere.
What did you say?
So okay. And what is it for a woman that's having more kids by different men every time? That is significantly larger. It is significantly larger
wolf
than
in sheep clothing.
Yes, it's the same thing.
What? Are you saying you
think that a woman want to have a child and raise it by herself? You guys are something else.
But how many?
Don't say that.
How many kids will you have by different men before you stop?
No, that's not true. You don't find
the most a woman can have is like 5 kids, 8 kids. You men can have, you can have 10 kids at once in a year.
But you're not finding a woman with 5 children.
What? How?
You're not finding women with 5 children and and with by 5 different men. That's not
that
common.
That would be like in 6 years.
That's not common. And let me tell you something. Most of the men, you decide to come in, he leave her with 1 child. Second man come through, he's coming in shining armor. He's a wolf in sheep clothing, and he ride until he don't want to ride anymore. Now he drop a baby and he leave again. So now she's skeptical. Okay, is there a label or is there
That's
some
why
kind
I'm saying women should leave these kids there.
How do you find somebody as wonderful as you are that gets married and stay with all of his children? How do we find somebody like you? You have a stamp on your head because you come in like a knight in shining armor, do all the right things.
Most men prey on mothers with kids
Women,
to
you
date
need
them.
to stop being emotional. This thing of even giving birth, men use it as a punishment. That's why most of them are like, you want her to come down, impregnate her. My dear, they impregnate you, have the child you want to leave that child in that home. Do not go with a man's child. It's a man's child, huh? Stop being emotional. Stop being emotional.
Take your child. Don't be leaving no child with a man.
Leave the child with a man.
But guys, let's hear C9.
I meet this wonderful guy.
Let's hear from C9.
Baby by this wonderful guy. Let me please have this baby by this wonderful guy. He's so nice. And you think that's what people saying? Oh, I don't want to have a baby because this guy is no good. I don't want to have a baby by him. Really?
Ladies, let's hear C9. He just joined the box. Maybe he wants to I think he wants to support Edwards.
I'm saying this one last time. Women, stop being empath. Be emotionally intelligent. These things of emotional attachment, I have emotional attachment with a child. You people, these men are still using you as punishments by giving you children. Most of them drop these kids inside your belly as a punishment.
No. But you have a look, guy, ladies. Let's see nine speak. Sorry, let's see nine go, and then we'll come back to this conversation because I don't agree.
Hello, welcome.
I don't agree with what we're saying to leave a child. No. But anyways, go ahead, C9.
She's being sarcastic.
I know.
I am not actually.
It's not okay. You see, let's come back to that because I don't agree with it. But C9, do you have anything to say, or we go back to the open mic?
I just wanna say, well, thanks for King David. Thanks for bringing me up. A lot of the things
it wasn't King David. I actually brought you up.
Oh, okay. Sorry if you did. Then thank you. I didn't realize you were here.
While I'm the tire you, my sister.
Okay. So
let him in the lines then.
So I've heard quite a bit of things going up and down, and I think personally, I believe that some of what you ladies are saying is kind of very shocking, because I've heard somebody actually trying to blame men for like creation. How is that even possible? I saying a man can give birth to 5 kids or whatever.
You want to answer?
At a time or something like that.
Let him land. Let him land all his thoughts, and then we can answer him.
We were not blaming men for giving birth.
Ladies, let him land. Let him land all of his thoughts. Yeah, go ahead.
So, from what you're saying, yeah, it sounds like you're blaming. That's why I typed it in the comment section. Firstly, I believe if we stick to the topic, one of the things that has been lost in translation right now is about marriage in itself, what marriage stands for. Marriage, when you, from every definition, whether you use religion, just a like dictionary definition or whatever, marriage is about a partnership. Okay, every individual or the two parties have their own roles that they play, but recently there is this shift in power dynamics, be it from the feminist angle, be it from the societal pressures, be it from overeducation, like
be it from men
freedom,
say the word
be
men
it from
too.
men, whatever you wanna attribute it to. People have lost the sight that when you get married, you're supposed to be a team, and we've turned it into a competition, which is losing its value and breaking down the wholesome institution of marriage. Okay, men are blaming women, women are blaming men. But what I find funny is, why is it that whenever there's, say, it doesn't work, there's a breakdown, and the question, it's about women being the victims and men having to prove their worth. When is the narrative going to change for women to also prove their worth? As I said, it's a partnership. So sticking it on one gender to say, apart from this, what are you bringing to the table? It can be flipped on the other side too. Apart from this, what are you also bringing to the table? We need to shift away from that narrative and go back to the partnership scheme. Otherwise, marriages are gonna keep breaking, and as has already lost the privilege and like the worth of it, right? Then I heard, I can't remember exactly who said that, saying that it's a fast that kids raised in single homes do better. Kids raised in two-parent homes do better, and particularly single households with the fathers do better. It's not a farce. The research is there. The primary question answered by that thesis was single homes versus dual homes, and then the sub question, it was a qualitative research that was done, and then the sub question that was answered was comparing single male homes and single female homes, and the results came out that homes run by single male tend to do better than female. One of the findings was the fact that because of the empathetic nature of women tend to blend empathy, like understanding what somebody's going through, without taking on the emotional responsibility, and twist it into sympathy. So it's more of a sympathetic relationship with the kids. And that's what ends up. So instead of, when it comes to things like discipline, guidance, and all of that stuff, women tend to fail on that side, or fail might be too strong a word, but women tend to not do better on that end. So it's not a myth. It's there. Okay. What was my other point? I think I put it in so in terms of what men bring to the table when it comes, going back to the marriage situation, apart from when we talk about finances, men bring security, men bring guidance, men bring companionship to the table as well. So I think I'll kind of land here and then rebuttal what people come up with. So thank you.
Very well said. But again, I spoke on the research. I'm happy that you said the actual focus of the research, which was what I mentioned with dual parent homes and single parent homes. That was actually the focus of the research. And the subset you're saying breaks it down into economical benefits. So, for example, one of it, where you're talking about single male homes, it did find that when it comes to economical stability, they were slightly doing better because men had more income compared to single mothers. Then it went on to behavioral aspects of that for children, and it found that a lot more single mothers were present, whereas men were focused on. So it breaks it down. But the actual research, which you mentioned as well, was comparing single parents, whether it is fathers or mothers, to dual parent homes, and it found that dual parent homes do better. But every other thing underneath that breaks it down into the economical side, the behavioral side, and it found amongst those things, depending on which one you're looking at, for example, economic. Obviously, a lot more men had finances. It says financially, when you look at single male homes, they had financial benefit. They were doing more better economically, financially, than women. Then when you look at the behavioral, where when you're looking at a child and you're looking at the socio-economical factors, the finances, the emotions, they found that the single mothers did better in the emotional side. So again, it is a myth, and it is a big fat myth, that single fathers raise better children than single mothers. But what I would agree with, which I had already mentioned, which actually was the focus of the research, is where you have two parents involved and you have just one parent. Obviously, where you have two parents involved, do better. So at the end of the day, the focus is on how people can start to foster how to get the two parents involved. And it doesn't have to be marriage. You can co-parent. The problem is a lot of men walking away. When you look at single mothers and you look at the level of single mothers that we have, why are men walking away? Like, you can still be involved. You don't have to be intimately involved with the mother of the child, but you should still be involved in your child's life. And I think that's what we should be pushing more. But if we want to come here and say single father, it is a lie. Well, not a lie. Sorry, I don't want to say it. It is a myth.
It is not a myth.
It is a myth. The research, at least, even your fellow man just said to you the research, right? No. You're talking about subsets. The title of the research, it says dual parent.
Okay, besides research, let me break it down.
There's not even argument there. The title of the research was clear. We're talking about subsets.
Break it down to him on a ground level.
Let's have a little bit of research right now. Our mini research right now, yeah? When you mention that women tend to be more empathetic and men tend to be more disciplinary towards kids, and then we talk about women going to be sympathetic towards the kids, so they miss out on disciplining the kids. Okay. So in that way, when we look at things that really cause more violence again, or when that cause kids to be more irresponsible citizens of the society, we're going to look at things like that disciplinary that you guys are putting in these kids causes more aggressiveness in the society.
But women are also more abusive to kids than men also.
No, listen, you guys said I'm comparing the whole single.
How do you know
men
you're
thing.
not in the home?
And the kids that the men grow up are the ones who tend to be more violent when they grow up. They're more violent.
You need to move away from why is the how is he gonna know if he's not in the home?
No, so the thing is, women, the kids.
In most cases, men are not in the home because the women are not letting them in the home.
The kids, women really
you don't
grow
have to be in the
up
home
as so soft
to
spoken.
parent your child. You don't have to be in the home. You can co-parent. The problem is men upping and leaving and not wanting to be responsible.
Men are not leaving. Men are not leaving. That's also a myth that women have propagated. And it needs to stop.
So how come the children are the mothers are not the men?
You guys are talking about more responsible kids because the kids are more responsible on the mother's side, because when you have a child who has empathy on them, they're more empathetic into doing violent things. And when you have a kid on the male side, they're less empathetic. So they are so quick to resorting to violence. They're so quick to being so entitled.
Kids that are raised by their fathers in single home are less violent.
Oh, no.
Yes, they are.
That is not true. There's no research like that. Oh my goodness. There is no research like that. Even you said that the research.
I don't know why
we're quoting subsets.
It's not just one research.
I don't know why we're quoting subsets of research. Like, oh my goodness. Do you guys know how to actually read research and articles? If you're coming with subsets, they are different varieties of subsets. Like I mentioned, the finance. The finance, the behavior. Those are subsets. The focus of the research.
When you do a qualitative research,
right? The focus of the research, as you mentioned, was dual versus single. Now, when it comes to the subsets, there were varieties of subsets that were checked. So there was no subset that said categorically that single fathers raise better. That's not true. It doesn't exist. But when you look at the subsets and you look at single parents and single fathers and finances, it showed that a lot of single fathers were more stable financially than single mothers. I agree to that. When you look at behavior, which is I think where Kayanze is saying around maybe where Kayanze is saying about the aggressiveness, right? Maybe that could be it. But when it comes to the behavioral side, he found that women were doing better. So the subset has a variety. There is no subset that you would find there that said single fathers raise better. There's nothing like that. It doesn't exist. So why are we just, I don't know, giving all this myth left and right? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
You should research empathy versus disciplinary. Which one is more aggressive towards kids, and how does it really entrain inside kids into being better citizens?
But mothers are more abusive to kids than fathers.
You guys talked about you raise better kids than women. You did not say which ones are more abusive towards kids.
Backtracking and bringing in different. We're talking about the line, the myth.
You talked about the
myth. You said that single fathers raise better children than single mothers.
Exactly. So don't try and
backtrack and try to add other things. We're focusing on that to tell you. But now if you look at abuse, then that's a different conversation.
if you look at abuse, that's a different
Yeah,
conversation.
he's
But
pivoting.
if you look at abuse, we shall give you a mark there. But if you look at bring out a better product, mothers bring out better kids than men.
So listen.
So you don't mix up things here. So when you're talking about abuse, let's talk about the abuse part of it, okay?
Who do you think raised all the rich athletes? They say, "Hi, mom."
Okay.
And they don't even speak to their father.
Which one do you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about being more abusive or more better responsible kids?
If you look at it in another aspect, right? You will see I'm gonna put it in another way. If you have a business and you have a partner, if this partner is doing everything and this partner is not hardly doing anything, the partner that does more are gonna make more mistakes than the partner that's not doing much of anything.
You have to take the good with the bad.
We go with the good, and then we raise the point. We raise good.
I'm gonna make 10 mistakes, and you're gonna make one mistake. Why?
You still gonna take the good with the bad
because you're not raising.
Women raise better kids than men. If you're talking about being abusive, that's okay. We shall give you a point.
Because you have low amount of men raising children. Statistics are going to be low because you don't have that many children that the men are raising. The statistic is going to be, you got 10 kids and 5 of them are you raising come out bad, and he's raising only 3 children, 1 come out bad. So that you have to look at it statistically.
Edward, newsflash.
That is a good point, right? That is a
Edward
good
and
point.
C9, newsflash. Disciplinary doesn't directly transact into being responsible citizens. But empathy has so much evidence.
I never made an assertion like that. Okay.
No, I'm only telling you. I'm not saying you say, but I'm telling you.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's true. That's true. It takes more than discipline.
But I'll give it to you. C9,
that's fine.
C9, there's a part where you say that you men provide security, you provide guidance, you provide compassion, you provide love. And I'll only say that most cases, yes, you provide those things, but most men will talk about security. When you talk about compassion, you're not yet there. Most men. Let me say. And when you talk about love, Edward, and when you talk about love, you don't give it. But the only thing I'll give you.
Do you mind if I have the floor for 2 seconds?
I'm gonna give it to you because I was still interjecting. The only thing that you say that I really give a plus on that also transacts into disciplinary is guidance. That's one thing I will tell you. Guidance, men do give it. That's why I say we complement each other.
Why do you marry someone who does not give you those? Or why would you want to marry that person? Or why would you
don't know the person until you get deep
you get into marriage, and then the security starts you giving the money to other babes you're
men
sleeping
get tired
around
and
with.
they
So how
see
is that
other
security?
things they want to get into.
How is that total security?
When you see if I'm having
with other women, how is that being compassionate?
If we're gonna have a constructive criticism, we have to say that both do that. Listen, both do that.
That's not true.
Women, men, listen. Men stay the same and women change in relationship. When you have a kid, when you have a child, you change. When you have,
Oh, so when we change, does that mean that we go cheat around, or are you saying we change because of our hormones of us giving birth, and now we have kids to take care of, and then we also have you as bigger babies to take care of as well? What is it I'm making us change?
What you mean? Let me
break it down for him again. When you first get with
that's a biological thing. It's going to change. Emotions change. Hormones change.
When you first get with a man and you say, honey, he say, yes, honey. And then a month later, you say, honey, I heard you. So there's something going on with that. Now you don't answer your phone.
Because he's being compassionate with other women. he's out being in love with other women, and he said he provides love, he provides compassion. How are you providing compassion when you're not compassionate enough to really know that when you go cheat around, you're gonna bring diseases back to me as a woman?
You guys are saying as if you guys are saying that all men cheat. That's like I can say that all women cheat.
Hey, we are not saying all men cheat, but we're talking about the bigger percentage.
That bigger percentage, all women cheat.
Nope. No one cheat in relationship, maybe.
No one said that.
Compare women to men.
Not in marriage.
So then why, if you can't compare women to men, why are you having a conversation about what men does?
Because a lot of men have come up has to stop broken children.
I feel like the reason is that a lot of men on this platform have come up to say, look, we're going to cheat, we're going to do whatever we like, and women should still stay married to us. That's the basis.
Exactly.
A lot
That's
of
what
those
they're
people
saying.
on here are disingenuous.
Yeah, fellow men, right?
And a lot of women clout chase.
But it was men that said that, not women.
But a lot of women also say the same thing. What you have to understand is that
I'm
on your
cheat on you, but
platform,
you have to stay
listen,
with me. No woman said that. No woman came up and said, look, I will cheat and you stay with me. It was men that were saying that. It wasn't women. So what are you saying? You just want to blame women.
We are not refuting other facts that women can cheat or women cheat.
Exactly.
When you're on TikTok,
Like you men being the bigger percentage.
When you're on TikTok, the algorithm feeds you some certain narratives that you might pin to. Right?
So now you're saying we're
Men are
crazy.
seeing a certain sect of things and women are seeing a certain sect of things.
Now you're saying we're
the
crazy.
daily life.
Now you're talking about TikTok algorithm. Anything but
because
you
that is what you're saying. If you're talking about what some random person says on TikTok about what it is that they want to do, a lot of them come on TikTok, they clout chase and they're liars, just like the women.
You used to mentally control women by telling them things and they love you so much and they believe it. But that's not the case here.
You're talking about women cheating in relationship. We're talking about marriages.
Women
their
feelings are so deep and they go along with whatever you're saying, but that's not the case here. The women on this panel are speaking from experiences and from their friends' experiences and from their friends' experiences, their mom, their dad, their grandmother, they're just speaking, and you're not listening because you feel you have to defend
How many men have you dated? How many men have you dated that cheated?
It's not the men that I've dated. I owned a hair salon.
Don't even go there. Our personal experiences.
But they're telling you one-sided story.
He says that I respect my man in his absence.
Able to speak it.
I can't talk about him.
Let me ask you a sharp question. Are there more men that grape women than women grape men?
Yes, they are. There are more men. Yes,
what? Excuse me?
Yes, they are.
I'm through talking to you.
There are more men that grape women. Yes, there are men who grape men.
Right. Okay. Well, don't argue with the fact that these women. You know what?
But why you can't? Accept the fact that if I answer you and tell you something honest, and if I answer you and tell you something is not honest.
Edward. You know what I wish you would do? I wish you would say, I'm going to advocate for women. Because
I advocate for women. I don't advocate for everything.
I accept the fact
I do
that
not believe all
broken
women.
homes are caused because men behave bad in the home. They cause havoc.
And I also think that women have a big part to play in it as well.
The comment section is wilding.
Do not display that kind of behavior around your boys.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know that even right now, statistically, women are more of a danger to kids in school, especially boys sexually, as molestation and all of those?
I've never heard of that.
Edward, you have just said that
you have kids.
He just said men grape women. Then he said a second
and
point
women grape men too. Men just don't never talk about it.
Listen to the second point. You said men grape women. Then your second point was men grape men.
Yes.
Do you know the gratitude of the amount of what you just said?
Well, no. What you want me to say that it doesn't happen? Women grape men as well.
So are you
just
gonna
not
say
at a
that
higher rate.
women are graping more
Women
men?
women are not strong enough to do that.
Statement that
You
you're just saying.
cannot take that.
Come on, women also drop rupees in people's drink. Women unalive men. Come on, you guys have to stop acting as
Yes,
if
Nature's
no,
not like
it
that. We
happens,
stop
but
it.
it's not to
That
abuse.
should
You
not
gotta
spice
teach
it
your
up.
boys a
There's
lot
no
of bad
balance with what
things.
you're saying, because if you're saying men grape women and men grape men, then you can't then say women grape
It is
more
men who
than
are graping more than women.
so we're not saying women don't grape men as well, but you're contradicting yourself.
They're
You're
saying that
contradicting
women do it
yourself
more
by
than
saying,
men.
yeah, because you already said men grape men grape
Men
women.
grape men.
Yes, women grape men too, but if you're looking at the mass,
Men
that's
are doing it
sounding like
more.
men do it more because they do it to
So
men as
that it
well.
doesn't
That's what
count.
you're
Again,
saying.
listen to this.
You're sort
Men
of
grape their
contradicting
own
yourself.
cousins. Men are graping their own sisters. Men are graping their own mothers right now in the USA.
Women are doing the same thing also, man.
We cannot grape our own fathers.
It's not
We
a
haven't graped our own
higher
uncles. Women are graping only kids in high school. Yes, we can say that. Younger kids. Yes, we can say that. But
you have
women
to
haven't
look at
graped
the race
uncles.
that does
Women
that.
haven't
You
graped
only
their own
have a
fathers.
problem.
Women
don't
haven't
find
graped
black
their own
women doing that.
brothers.
Because you cannot dominate men like how you probably cannot dominate kids. It's the same thing with abuses and situation. That's why men abuse women, women abuse kids, but you don't want to reflect on
We are
that.
not
You only wanna
abusing
reflect
kids.
on
My goodness, we don't abuse kids to the rate that you guys abuse kids.
That's
Right now
not true.
in the USA,
You guys
there are
need to
men who are
stop this
graping
abuse
kids
thing
who are
that you
15
guys
years
I
keep
feel
and
like
saying.
below.
this particular
It's
topic
not
of trying
only
to
in the
prove,
USA. No,
I
ma'am.
feel
No,
like
ma'am.
it's
No,
it's
ma'am.
actually, I don't even think.
That actually abroad is where that happens because there's no
No, United
legal
States.
no. There's repercussion for that.
I think we should go back
There's
to
no
the topic because
repercussion
this
in other
graping is
countries.
not. It's
You know
not.
what? You know what it
There
is
are
right now, Tiana.
repercussions
There's
in
no
other countries.
Yeah,
repercussion.
it's not.
The
It's not
thing
adding up like
is,
this
If
graping
you abuse
conversation.
Edward,
kids in certain
Edwards,
countries
I
and the men
think
don't
that
like it.
Edwards
Edward is missing the
digresses a
point.
lot
He's
from the
trying to drive
conversation.
others.
Yeah, I feel like he grabs other things to try and just change the direction of the conversation.
You know those people who said the
trying
facts?
to prove that
Yeah.
women grape more.
I asked him,
is
could he be the
ridiculous.
person that advocate for women and say, okay, I know men do this, and if I have a son or a neighbor's kid or a community, I'm going to go to that community and speak to the boys and tell them to love and respect their wives and friends
And
and
I want you to
sisters and
advocate for
brothers.
men and go to school and tell them that the same thing happened to boys.
Actually, you know what, Edward? I think one mistake that we women
He's
are doing
okay.
most right now is not advocating for the boy child. I think at this point we need to start advocating for the boy child because look at the bigger men, whatever they're going through. If you
Yeah,
don't
he's
advocate,
already who
it is a
he is.
disaster for these bigger. They don't know how to emotionally express themselves. They don't know how to have. They don't know how to express. When you tell them no, they become animals. They
You
don't know
have
how
to break
take
that
no for an
cycle,
answer. They're
Edward.
too
You have to break
emotional,
that
and they
cycle
think
with your
women are
boys.
emotional. Edward, you're right.
Boys,
We need
my
to
boys,
advocate
hold
for
on.
the.
My
We need
boys
to
are
advocate
not.
for the boy child, but for
You
you
have to
grown
break
men,
that cycle.
we're done with you. We're not advocating for you anymore because we have had enough lessons about you
We
guys.
have to
Oh, you need
advocate
to
for
do this
men
for a man.
to
You need to.
advocate for men.
We're not advocating for men. You're
We don't
advocating for the
believe
boy
all
child.
women. Do you know how many men
I'm sorry. So
get
when the
false
boy child grows up, what is it going to grow up into?
A man, but
I
you men
rest
who
my
already
case.
listen, C9, you grown up men don't want to listen. You have I don't know I don't know what's going on with your ears. You have so much entitlement. You don't like accountability.
We
Your
have a
egos
lot
are
of
so high.
earwax from all the stress you give us.
Exactly. And you know what? C9?
and we don't live
C9.
long.
You know what they
Give
call
you stress to do
C9,
the
you know what they
right
call
thing.
provider? They said men are providers. You're supposed to be providing peace and I nurture it. You bring trouble. This is the trouble we are giving you. So if we say we are giving you trouble, check yourself. What are you giving as a leader? You're supposed to be leading into these things. If you want peace, if you don't want trouble, lead into peace. But if you lead
Hey,
into
I'm gonna
trouble,
lead you. I'm gonna lead you right
I
now.
don't
Be
want
quiet and
peace.
go
I
make me a
want
sandwich.
trouble.
what did you say, Edward?
Be quiet and make me a sandwich.
Okay,
You be scared to
let me
eat
tell you
it.
something.
You better
Let
be
me tell you
scared
something.
to eat it.
Ladies, let me
I'm
speak
actually
to
better
doing
you.
be
that right now.
scared to
I'm
eat it.
cooking. That's why I'm not talking, because I'm cooking for my husband. He came in.
Exactly.
He
No,
came in, saw me talking on
Edward, let me
TikTok,
tell you
and he
something
said,
now.
"Go and cook me something." So I'm
Edward, let me
cooking,
tell you
so we can
something,
do that for
Edward.
our
Edward,
husbands.
So
Edward,
why are you then
Kiana, let me
acting
tell
like?
Edward something. Edward,
You
let me tell
sure
you
you
No,
want
something.
to
I
eat
said
that
marriage is
sandwich?
great. I'm not acting anyhow. I said marriage is
C9,
great.
Okay.
C9, let me
Is
tell
Yeah,
it?
I
Edward
love
Is he?
something.
marriage.
Wait a minute. Is he
Edward,
sure
just tell
he
me
want
Marriage
to
is
something.
eat that
amazing
My
for the
sandwich?
right
mind
person.
blowing. My
Wait,
boy, Edward, just tell me something. Let me tell him. Let me tell him something. Edward, let me tell
okay.
you something. The respect I give to my man at home is not the respect you as a TikTok person or community person. As a man, I find I give to you.
Hey, I
You don't
know,
tell me
but
shut up when you have
I
a
never say you to
bachelor's
shut up. I
and
did
I
not
have
tell
a
you to shut up.
PhD.
I did
No,
not
no,
tell you
no.
to shut
I'm
up.
just giving an example. I'm just giving an example. Don't worry. I'm not going so much. Don't take it so personal. You as a man, you don't tell me to shut up and I have a PhD and you have a bachelor's and I'm your boss at work. You don't tell me shut up. But when I go home, my man can tell me shut up, do me a sandwich, and I'll gladly do it. When I am in the community, we are all equal because if I'm your boss, you're gonna
Let me
take
ask you,
orders.
No,
The
your
only
husband.
way I can let
that's
any
Can
very
man
somebody
wrong.
bring
fire
you,
your
That's
husband?
I'm
Can
very
somebody
telling
wrong.
fire
you,
your
I'm
husband?
telling you men who are
That's
here.
very
Can
wrong
somebody fire your
because
No,
husband? Because
listen,
nobody
men,
can
you're
fire him.
listen, and you need to
normalizing
take it. Men,
your
we
man,
shall give you
regardless.
respect,
Your
but
man
the
should
respect
never
we give
talk
you
to
on
you
the
like that.
streets is not the same respect we
Your
give
man
to our
should
men at
always talk
home.
to you with respect. Your man shouldn't tell you shut up and go make me a sandwich.
No, listen, CJ, I'm giving you an example. I'm not telling you. Let me tell you something, CJ. A man who is leading in my life is the man who is my man, not you who I find on the streets. So the respect I give to you as CJ is going to be a normal respect, this normal common respect we give to each other as human being. So for you to tell me to keep quiet, as because you're talking, because you're a man and you have a diploma and your boss at work, it won't make any sense at all. So you men should stop walking
You,
around the streets
you know,
thinking
but you have
that
to
you
stop
own
lying. You got
listen.
to stop lying.
No, you should stop walking around these streets thinking that you own
No,
every woman.
but most
You don't
listen,
own
but that's
every
a lie. You
woman
want me to tell you
because
why? Let me tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why that's a lie. I'm gonna tell you why it's a lie. Most women that are working do not put their job on the line for their husbands or their boyfriend in a relationship. If you at work, you're gonna shut up and do what your boss say. You're gonna go and you're gonna do what you're gonna do.
exactly, you said the right thing. What my boss is gonna say. So what if I am your boss, Edward? You're gonna shut up and
No,
listen to me as a
you can't be
woman.
my boss.
No, you said an example, and I'm giving you another example. Edward, you have a bachelor's, I have a PhD. You are in engineering. I am running. I am.
Probably got a phone call.
That's probably TikTok.
I'm your
Food is
boss.
bad.
You
Food
understand what
is
I'm
burning.
saying?
That's why.
So when we are
TikTok
out
does
here,
that too.
so when we are out here, so when we are out here doing things as women and men, we are equal. So you should stop moving around and thinking that every woman deserves the
You,
respect that they have to their men at home. They can only be
you,
one thing in my life, and that's my man. And that's the reason why when I saw a comment section saying that we should talk about our personal life, I literally told King that I respect my man so much that I cannot put out his business anywhere just like that. I'm not saying other people don't respect their men, but that's the kind of respect that I choose to give my men. So that is on period. So when you tell women to shut up on these platforms, remember, you're only
I was
woman who
joking
have a
around there,
right
just to
to.
let
I
you
know
know.
you're joking. I know you're joking, but I'm just trying to speak to every man because you are joking, but the other men who don't joke about that. So when every man is out here telling a woman to shut up, remember, out here we are equal. The only woman you're supposed to be telling shut up is the woman you have at home that you have
But I
rights
do
over.
disagree. I do disagree that I don't think no two men and no two women is equal. We're just human beings, but we're
So
not
tell
equal.
me, how are you equal to me when I'm your boss at work?
Huh?
How are you equal to a woman who's a boss at work? Your boss at work?
I'm not equal to her, and she's not
Exactly.
equal to me.
So why are you saying women and women are not equal out here? This is by the way, this is a thing we need to start teaching men also. This is why most men feel so entitled over your girlfriends when they're out there.
No,
Because
we're
they feel like
talking
they're
about
men. No, I'm telling you, it's the reason why
if we're at
most
work.
men.
Hold on. If we're at work and my female boss is there and somebody running there with a pew pew, who you think is going to do the protecting, or who you think is going to look to try to save that person's life? You
Listen,
think she's going
that's
to
why
try
I
to
told
save
you
my
I
life?
give you respect on a humanly
Oh,
level. So when you come
okay,
in to protect me on a human level,
okay.
good.
Okay.
You understand? I'm not saying I have to disrespect you. I know better not to disrespect a man because you're gonna clap me and I'm gonna fall that side because hey, equal opportunities these days. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna be disrespecting you when you haven't done anything to me. So as a human thing, we're all gonna be respectful to each other. But there's a certain kind of respect men really demand from us. There can never be two kings in my jungle. So please don't ask for that kind of respect. Okay,
but that's
David,
logically
okay, I
sound.
get it. And by the you men should be so strict on that because as a woman in my African setting, I know the only person who has a right over me as a man is my father. The next person who has a right over me as a man is my brother. But when I get married, they cease to have those rights over me, and that's my husband having those rights over me as a leader. But when I'm out in the streets,
I don't want to cut you. I don't want to cut you. But you see the way how you talk? To me, that's how a wife talks.
I don't know about a wife talking like that because
no because in this in where I'm at, women don't typically talk like that.
But I mean the USA as well.
Okay, but you are from a different background and a different
mindset. No. That's how all women come forward.
No,
but then when they all come forward like that. No. We come with open arms, love, and honor. But
deception.
Then you crash the whole
Edward,
thing.
Yes.
Deception.
Let me tell you, Edward, there is no way a woman will fail to do anything for a man. Women are soft. Somebody say women are soft. When she starts going crazy, just know there's something wrong somewhere. There's something. Your communication, your ego, your anything. You have to check it. We have to be real with each other here.
But
women always go crazy. Okay, there's some who are abusive. I'll say that. But most cases, women are crazy because of you guys. What you provide is what we multiply. When you give us a sperm, we shall multiply. When you bring us crazy, we shall go crazy.
Yeah, we go crazy in the head. Now that you're not, when I walk through the door, you walk through the door, I'm not getting a hug and kisses anymore. I'm not getting that little pinch or that little, I'm just saying, why is he ignoring me?
I'm tripping.
I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't want to be disrespectful. What year is everyone in here born before in the 1980s?
Dude, I'm not giving that. I'm not giving that.
No, because when things start changing in the house, first when your husband walk in and say, "Come here, baby, give me a kiss, give me a kiss," and you're used to that. But then a couple of years down the road, you're like, "Come here, give me a kiss." Like, it's not happening.
You start calling me fat. I just dropped your leggings, your baby. You start telling me I'm too fat. What are you talking about?
Guess what?
I just pushed out a baby for you. Can you give me some grace? Can you be something
like she said? Like she said, something started changing in the house.
Is he calling you those names? I don't want to use it.
No. Somebody
just out of the blue, or has he said something? Are you doing something about it, and he's still doing that?
No, let me tell you something. What you guys have failed to understand is the biological facts with women. The women who are going to do something about it, but just because they have a hormonal imbalance, they will never lose weight.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. In society, we're not trying to work. We're not trying to really work and fix what is natural between us, right? So let's say
you need to understand even the weight is natural in most cases because the people actually, if we have any doctors on this platform,
slow down as you get older. Yes,
the hormones. And I usually tell men, women are 4 different personalities in a man. So this time you're gonna get one who's gonna be bang bang. The next time she's gonna be don't touch me. The next time she's gonna be.
Men also go through that, but we don't use it as an excuse.
Yeah, because sexually, men go through that. Like, so
you
for instance,
men are different from men. I don't know why you're comparing yourself to women, biological and emotional and hormonal wise.
If
like our mothers did, our mothers did,
and we're not using it as an excuse.
Our mothers did.
We are not using it as an excuse. All I said is have some grace and compassion towards the person, because when you're going through it, we are not tripping.
You will find that sometimes it only gets to that level you're talking about after the guys will tell you, "Yo, babe, I think you're putting on a bit a bit more weight,
No,
and even in most cases offer to work out with you. But what you hear back is, me, I don't like running. I don't like I don't want to do this.
you need to
So
be
when you
For
get to
better or for
when you get to a
worse.
space where the man yeah,
But
go on.
my, you know what
And
it
also,
is?
King saying without money. We need to describe the thing here. Without money,
It's
is it happening when you're in marriages, or is it happening when you're just meeting a man? When I'm just meeting a man, and you're saying you're broke and you're trying to come to me, no. But if we're in marriage and it happens within marriage, where am I going? You think women are going? Women in marriages take funding their husband because apparently their husband went broke, and there's
Do
nothing
you
wrong with that.
there is
So you need to
loads of
describe
stories out
what
there.
kind of
There's loads
when
of
you don't
stories
have
out
money.
there
Is it that you don't
of
have money before
women
marriage or
stepping
within
out
marriage?
because the man has hit a misfortune.
What
It's
you
out there. It's almost a biological imperative for you women not to like suffer.
I'm
Women will
shaming.
step
No, I'm not
out
shaming, David.
if you
Listen,
cannot.
all I said, when something happens within the marriage and your man becomes broke, I don't think there's so many women here on this platform or in this world who run away from their men because they're broke when they're within marriages.
There is the
I'm not.
sad
I
fact.
haven't said they're not there.
There
They
is.
are there, but to a bigger extent, women stay. Women put their money. They really support the husband. They do. Some run away, yes, but most stay. But
Most
the
run
only
away.
thing that you guys are really
It's
mad
only the
about.
very few. It's only the very few who
That's not
understand
true. Most women are
marriage.
younger than their husband. Just like the lady stated earlier, they're younger than
No, mind
their
blow. We're not talking about young. We're talking about staying when
Exactly,
money
and
is
that's
in a
why,
relationship.
and that's
No,
why
no, no, no,
they
no. I just
go
said he
away.
was
They
saying
don't
the
stay.
women broken down. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying that the men they're older, and the women are younger. And when they get older, women do stay and take care of their old husbands.
No, we're talking about finances. Like when
That
they
is
Oh,
not
financially go
reality.
broke in marriages, we stay to
That's not
really.
reality at all.
It is reality. I don't know which kind
It's
of now
not.
women that
Look,
statistics you're reading from.
see,
Most
one of the
women
things
will
that I
never
wanted
fail
to
to
say
put their money
earlier,
on the
one of
table
the things that I
when their
wanted to say
husband puts
earlier
it.
is when you read research, right? When you read research and it quotes some quotas, the way to relate it to yourself is have an on. A lot of people will never be honest about this. Yeah, have an honest look around you to see what reality is, not the research that's coming out and all of that. If the research says 1 in 5 people, pick the closest 5 people around you and then see if you can see what the research is saying within your group. I can guarantee you that there, even yesterday, right? Do not disclose any
no.
details or
Most
anything like that.
Okay,
statistics
I
is
Tina,
lie.
when you say I should pick the closest research about me, around me, the 1 in 5,
people
in
around
fact,
the
yeah,
population
the
sample
research
is
around
supposed
me,
to
in fact,
reflect
is 0 in 5.
0 in 5 what?
0 in 5 women
5
go away from their men when they don't
leave,
have
yeah.
money in marriages.
And that's what I'm saying. An honest review.
It is an
Yeah.
honest
It's
review
not
because I know I don't even roll. I don't make friends with
you,
people that are not the
so
same caliber as mine.
okay.
But also,
So
That's
to that research
you're
point
telling
that
me
he's
that
saying,
you
right?
picked
With
5
single fathers and single mothers, the reality
I
is
know that. I know that, King.
even me
I know
around
that.
me, I don't know any single fathers, for example. So the reality, even if we go back to that research, is there are a lot more single mothers and there are a lot more children raised by single mothers that are doing very well. If you
No,
look around
no,
you,
Tiana.
I don't even think I know any single fathers like
No, Tiana.
around
He's
me.
talking about. Do you
No,
the
have?
I
single
know he's talking
mothers.
about something else. I'm just saying if we just take that, the way he's sort of
The
trying
single
to
mothers
tell us
that
how
you
to look
know.
at research. And
The
I was
single
talking
mothers
about
that
that
you
research
know.
he said at the start, which I said was a myth, when he said that there was a research showing that single fathers raise better children. So I was saying, even with that research, if a lot of people
So
put it
that,
around them, you would find that
so
there are a lot more single mothers than single fathers. And you would find that there are a
if
lot
you
more
have
children doing better from single mothers around you. I don't
when
even
you
know any
say
single fathers around me.
when you say you don't know any single fathers around you, all the single mothers that you know around you have other halves, right?
but they're not
I'm
with the
sure when they
children.
were together,
Remember,
I'm
what
sure
makes
when they
you a
were
single
together, you
father
knew.
is that you
Wait,
have the children with you. So if you're talking about the single fathers that are not with children, yes, probably they're the other half. But I'm talking about the research that says a single father would raise a better child than a single mother. So the emphasis there is the child. So I'm saying the reality is I find that the single mothers around me have the child with them and not the other way around.
And the children are good,
Yeah.
good behavior.
the single mothers around you have the child with them because the law is skewed in that way. It's
Because
a
what?
lot harder because the law is skewed in that way.
Which
It's
law?
a
Which
lot
country?
harder.
Which geographical location?
Okay, I'll use UK because I'm in the UK.
Okay, do you think it's the same in Africa?
Say again?
Do you think it's the same in Africa where the laws are skewed in that direction? If you were to take
the laws
Africa,
aren't even skewed at all. The women are the ones who stay with the kids.
Most African countries, the laws are the foundation of the law, if not a photocopy of European law.
So you're saying in Africa,
Let me
Yes.
tell you something, Sinai.
that's
In
a fallacy.
Africa, African men stay with them.
African men stay with their children more.
But they
Do you
still
know
leave
how
them
many?
behind.
Do you know how many women
you
are
talking about
fighting?
African men?
Yeah. Do you know how many women are fighting to have access to their children? And you know the thing is, the reality, right, with Africa is that a lot more men in Africa, a child belongs to the father. Like
Exactly.
even
But then
if the
they
father
still
is not
leave
with the
them.
child, they will take the child and go and give it to their mothers or their aunts.
Tiana, they still leave them. They still there's no.
I know, but I'm saying compared to the Western world where the children, I feel like in the Western world it's more to women. Like we can all agree that in the Western world a lot of children are given to mothers more.
David, you need to unmute yourself.
Even when you give birth, even when you give birth in the Western world, right?
The only reason it's like
the
that in
hospitals
Africa is because the laws don't work. The only reason it's like that.
Do they also
okay,
know
so
that
you
they
agree
consider
then?
Western
You
civilization as failing?
agree to what I'm saying then?
But the laws are the same as the European law.
So the laws
For
are
most
the
cases,
same, but they're not
the laws
effective.
just don't get. They are not effective there.
Yeah, so
And
that's
we
what I'm
all
saying. But that's the
understand.
reality is that in depending on the geographical location, so that is valid when we're saying, look, yes, maybe
it's
the
the
laws may be similar, but they're not effective.
It's
So in
injustice.
Africa, you find that
I think I have
the other way around.
I have
They
to
take
go,
the
guys.
kids from the
I
women
hope you all
unjustly.
stay blessed. Bye bye.
Yeah.
I hope you all guys stay blessed. But all I will tell women that you need to learn from
Tiana, are you in
men.
the UK?
You men are really
Yes,
good.
yes, I'm in the UK.
You men are
Do
really
you know
good.
that the UK
We need to
law
learn
has
from men.
only just been changed now?
What part of the law?
When it comes to parental responsibilities and like the role of the father, they've now written it. They've now written
to
it.
balance it, right? They try to
Exactly.
balance it.
They've now written it in there that only God can deny a father their responsibility or their rights to the child.
It depends though, because
You know,
I have uncles here fighting to, and this is another topic again with women using children as weapons. The moment you add abuse,
women are using
the
children
moment
as
you
weapons.
add abuse, it is not only God. I have uncles that are still fighting for access. The moment the women use abuse, and I get it, some women have been abused, but unfortunately, some people use it as weapons. And I have people close to me experiencing this, where I'm telling you, this is the sweetest.
But then when we are relating it to the society that we live in, isn't it then true that it gets to a place where men get fed up? That's why they walk away. No sane man
That's a possibility.
Regardless of the relationship not working, no sane man wants to walk away from their family. But the rhetoric that we hear these days are men are walking away. Men don't want to walk away. But if you're using your kids as a weapon, it will get to a point that the guy will get fed up and walk away. You understand?
I agree with you, because a lot of women are emotional when it comes to a breakup. And so I agree with you. A lot of women are emotional, and they will try to use that. Yeah, they will try to, but I always say this to men, because we've had this conversation on this app over and over again, where men are complaining, oh my God, I don't have access, she's using it as weapons. And I think it's just disgraceful when you have women using it as weapons. But I would always say to the men, never stop trying. Like I literally have uncles here in the you know the way it is in the UK. Any form of abuse, you may never see that
100.
child. You know,
100.
yeah. So I have uncles
I
experiencing
absolutely
this,
agree with you.
and it's sad.
Personally, what I would also want to add to that is,
Sinai,
in the
Sinai,
end,
Sinai,
yeah,
sorry.
yes.
This is the best time to get through to these women now. Yeah, we have their national secretary
Because
Tiana
Kenyazi
here.
left,
This is the
you're not
best
serious.
time. Now is equal. This is the best time to get through to them. Whatever you want to say is going to get through now. Okay, the defender has left. Just let.
Kenyazi. All of you guys.
Rinse it and then clean the rest. Yeah. Yeah. So just do not, the guys, we shouldn't like give up. We should just keep fighting, like you said. And in the end, like reality will hit them. The kids will grow up. Because one thing that a lot of the women fail to like know is that the kids will grow up. They will see what you're doing to the men, and they will hopefully make the right decision. I went through that same situation with my ex, where every time we had a misunderstanding as parents, I was denied access to my kid, but I never gave up, and I was just there, and I just did my duty as a good father that I could. And then in the end, it got to a point, the child turned around and said, I want to live with daddy. I don't want to live with you. So just keep pushing, and like you'll be rewarded in the end.
No, I agree with you. I always say to my uncles and even my cousin, I always say to them, like, never stop trying. Unfortunately, a lot of women can use it against you here. And that's why I said the difference, because I do also have uncles that are experiencing this, but I find that in Africa, like, you know, I have a lot of uncles where the children are just with them, and I'm like, how does that even work? And it's the women that are trying to gain access, not all the men, you know, some men in Africa probably, but I find a lot of, maybe should I even say wealthy men, like automatically the children would be given to them for some reason. But in England, it's different, and it's sad that women would use their emotions and use children as weapons. But I always say to the men, never stop trying. Whatever it is, you can just keep track, and so you can evidently show the children and say, look, this was your birthday, this was what I sent, this is how I try to, you know, just keep tracking everything. Because as you said, with children, you would find that once a child grows older, they start to yearn for that parent that was supposedly missing in action. I know that it wasn't intentional. So a case where a woman is using the child as a weapon, she's doing herself a disservice, because as you said, once the child grows older, she would be looking for that father, and in fact, she would love that father more than you that have been there. Because if you keep putting the bitterness in the child and say, hate you, you know, this and that about the child would grow up to love that one that you don't want them to see, or you know, want them to have access to. So I think it's wiser for you to allow the fathers access. But yeah, it is, yeah, it's a sad case. When they throw in abuse, oh boy, you may never see your child for a very long time. But don't stop fighting. Get the best lawyers that can help you, and just keep fighting it. But I agree with you. And King David, you might want to contact Rose, because Edwards, your defender, is gone. And Kenyanzi has also dropped. So Kenyanzi and Edwards are no longer in the box. They were the one going hard at it. So see if you can contact Rose. I don't know if anyone else wants to say anything, but I think we can round up now.
Okay. Yeah. So you see how they were going for men earlier, as how women, a lot of women are single models, and how men are not present. And you see how you've described a situation where a broken marriage or relationship, and how the men are trying. You see that, and how, in other words, some men can't be bothered if to even be in their kids' life, while some men are struggling to be in their life. So you see the difference, and this is what I always say, that there's always a context to everything. You don't just come up and say, oh, men are this, men are that. I mean, it's an individual thing, and we need to always educate other people who are of that strong opinion that men are useless and they can't be anything good to women. Like the topic, how can you say being a wife? I mean, look at the topic. I mean, everything is wrong with that topic. The audacity of Rose to leave this topic and run away and not be part of this. I mean, I can't believe it. You
She
know,
was part of it
David,
from
she
the
dropped
start,
it.
and then
She dropped
she
it,
ran
and
off.
then she
know
runs
that
away.
She ran
that's
off when it got heated.
exactly. You know that's what she does, and that's what the topic is meant to do. It's meant to be thought provoking. It's
You
meant
know,
to
You
bring
guys joined late.
extremes to the
When I
table.
spoke, a lot of men and women actually agreed to my point because I'm married, so of course I gave all of the benefits to debunk or to counter this topic. Even Rose clapped,
Yeah,
and they all accepted because I talked about the benefits and everything in a healthy
you
marriage.
know,
But then it just started
marriage.
going left.
Marriage and relationship
yeah.
breaks for
I
different
just think,
reasons. For so many
yeah.
reasons. But the most
Oh
important
yeah,
is that, I mean, the children be intentional about the children, that they're
yeah.
not
The key.
victims in whatever the
Hmm.
parents are or the partners are going through in terms of broken relationships or marriages where kids are involved. I mean, be intentional about the children, separate them away from your drama. I mean, and both of you, I mean, you can actually have LD relationship with these children, even when you are not together. Whereas there are children who are in marriages, relationships where they are constantly going through abuse. You get what I mean? So at the end of the day, there's no right or wrong. I mean, let's just do better as humans. Look how we've dropped all the whatever that we wanted to drop all day. But how have we educated other people? How many people has learned from this conversation that we've had all day for hours? You know, you can't just be having conversation without actually educating each other and learning from it. It's very important that we don't just say things based off our personal emotions and just leave it like this at it and just go. You know, without educating, without
Yeah,
what's the way
100.
forward. You
I think.
need to be able, after every conversation, you need to be able to discuss the way forward. You need to be able to empower
Yeah,
other
yeah,
people. Like there are a lot of women or men going through abuse as well. There are a lot of men even going through abuse that they cannot even come out to talk about because of shame. You know, and it is
yeah,
okay. you know. And whereas there are a lot of women also who will come on set camera and say a lot of things about their exes, and when you get the opportunity to talk to the exes, you realize that it's not even true. There are two sides to a story, and there are two sides to every situation. So if a relationship breaks, I mean, you need to find out why, how, you know. And I'm not to say that they are not bad men or bad women. I mean, it goes both ways. It's when we start to want to individualize the matter. That's when I get upset. That, oh, men are this, men are that. Do you know how many men have gone through shege because of women? Shege
that
Pro Max. You get what I mean? They say, "Oh, I
that
gave him.
really
He
that
wasted.
really triggers me. That's why I jumped up
I
actually.
gave him 10 years of my life. I gave him 20 years of my life. What about the man too? You think a man will be
That
in 20 years
statement
or ten
kills
years
me.
relationship without? I mean, are you kidding me right now? They begin to talk about themselves and how the man wasted their time. How about the man too? Talk about how it's painful for them. How about the
Yeah,
man too? The fact that the man is not able to express how he feels about his situation doesn't mean that he doesn't have it. You know, God
yeah.
damn it.
It's so true, man. So true. And like a lot of the times, because of society, and as you say, we cannot come out most of the times to express our emotions and how we are truly feeling. We tend to hide it. And when relationships break down, most of the times, the women are like the most vocal, and they sort of, because they say their bit and what they're going through the most, it seems to be like they're the victims, but the men suffer in silence. A classic example, yesterday I was looking at a Facebook post of a friend, like a couple that I know, but I saw that the dynamic have changed. And then I reached out backdoor to the guy and I just asked him, how are you? And he basically just confirmed everything that I suspected was happening. But because he's not on social media, instead of social media, people will think, oh, he's the one that is at fault and all of that stuff. But the reality, it isn't. And to go back to this topic, the way forward, I believe, is that we need to stop all of this. Apart from this, what are you bringing to the table? Apart from this, the whole dynamic of marriage is becoming a competition. It was never meant to be like that. It was meant to be a partnership. So we need to move back into that direction
of it being a partnership and not competing with your partner who's bringing more to the table, who's like complement each other, like work together to make sure that the trajectory of the marriage is bigger than each individual like visions. You know what I mean? It has to be a bigger vision for the both of you than your individual visions. And that's the only way we're gonna have any hope of starting to even slow down the rate of divorces in this day and age, and like single parenthood, and obviously everything else cascades from it. Without that, I'm afraid like we're lost, and we're gonna keep on going down in a spiral.
I agree with you, but I feel like one of the reasons I usually would praise, because I asked that question, is where I hear a man sounding like finances is all that would make him be the head of the home. When I hear a man say, I'm the key provider, then I say, okay, now in this day and age, women are also providers. What happens? What else do you bring in? So for me, it allows for men to start to think outside the box, where historically, it may have been that as a provider, that's it. Like, you're great, you're the head of the family. That's no longer the case. And so for me, when I ask that question, it's just to ask you, aside being a provider, do you have emotional intelligence? Do you have, because look, even if, I always say to men, even if your wife is the breadwinner, it doesn't stop you from still leading your home and still being the head. Even if she's the breadwinner, because I mentioned how I'm in England and I have a lot of uncles that, obviously, I grew up here, but I have a lot of uncles that have migrated or whatnot. And say, for example, in Nigeria, they'll be very wealthy, maybe not very wealthy, but maybe be bankers and just have decent jobs. And then they move here and they're taxi drivers or security men, but then their wives are nurses or working in the healthcare where they become the breadwinners. I have a lot of people that are still married like that, like uncles and aunties, they're married like that, but you obviously can see that the woman is earning more, she's the breadwinner, she's sorting out most of the finances, but the men are still able to lead their home because what? They have emotional intelligence, they have other things, like I said, like when it comes to chores or cooking, or, they're open to all these other things to still ensure that their homes they're running the way they want it to run, they're still able to lead. But the problem is where we have a man, or when we have men that feel like it's just about providing, when they no longer are able to provide, or they find that women are now the providers, they're stuck. They can't move forward because now they feel intimidated. Some of them, obviously not all. So when I ask that question, usually, and I think the man that was speaking when he was talking more around finances, providing, and I was like, do you know what, give me. And I loved what he said, structure and, I think he said structure and security, or structure and discipline. I can't remember. I said, that's what I'm talking about. Give more things. Like, let's not just rely on provision, because I will ask you, aside provision, what else makes you the head? Or in a case where your wife is the key provider, does that now mean you're no longer the head? Although the Bible doesn't help for Christians, because they usually will quote that Bible verse about the man, I forgot, like being an infidel or something, like, which I don't completely agree with. I just feel like in this day and age, the dynamics are changing. And even if your wife is the key provider in your home, it shouldn't emasculate you. It shouldn't make you less of a man. You should still be able to lead, pulling across to other things, especially emotional intelligence, especially caring, and all this security structure, all these other things, aside provision. That's the way I see it when it comes to that question.
Look at all the beautiful things you've said now, yeah? But in your own capacity, how are you able to empower other women to see things this way? Because oftentimes you find out that a lot of women are looking for men who will look after them, who will take care of them. How about you as a woman empower yourself first before you go into a relationship or marriage? That way you're coming with value, and the man would not see financial, economical means as a way to control you or define your relationship. How about that?
I agree, but unfortunately, I always say I'm out of the dating scene, and I've been for a very long time. But what I'm hearing, or what I've heard from a lot of women in this day and age, is they just don't want to build with any man. They feel like the men, the caliber, are not strong enough to build with them. Of course, with me, I built with my man. I met him at uni, so he wasn't wealthy at the time when I was 21. But he is okay. He's doing very well now. But the point is, a lot of women
are not doing badly either.
I've grown. But that's why I said, like, at 21, right, David? Yes, King David, right? At 21, the things I looked for then, I wasn't doing very well either then. I was a student. He's older than me, but he was also a student. We met at uni, but he's older than me a few years. I was like my senior or whatnot. But the point is, at the time, I wasn't looking for what I couldn't offer. I looked for other things, not wealth, not money, I always say. Now, in my 30s, my early 30s, what I've accomplished, if I find myself to be single, God forbid, I always say, because I don't want to be single right now. But if I find myself single, the things I would look for would be different because, like you
Please
said,
don't be
I'm
single.
doing better now.
It's not easy on these streets.
Exactly. I don't even want to be on the streets right now. I always say, God forbid, because I don't want to leave my husband right now. No, I don't even want to be out there. Even being a married woman, I know the attention that I get, not to now talk of being, I just feel like I'll be confused. I don't even want to be in the dating market. It's fine. But so I always say that first, God forbid. But the reality is, God forbid if I were to be single in my 30s. Like you said, David, what I've accomplished, it would be difficult for me to, it's not my 21-year-old self. Does that make sense? So at 30, in my early 30s, I'll be looking for someone that is similar to what I have or more. Does that make sense? Because I'm established as well. I've grown. So I get it when some women say, look, I'm in my 30s or 40s or whatever age, and I don't want to build with a man. It kind of makes sense because me, even though I did it, that's when I was 21, I met him. I won't make the same decision now in my 30s.
And you see how that is something that is of concern. Because imagine where you're looking for an already established man. Who says that the man who is not established does not have capacity to give you a beautiful life? Who says that? Who defines a man
that's where age comes in. Because what you're saying,
by financial, because now it feels like men are now being I don't know how to put it, but it feels like men, the way you guys see women see men now is a man will only have value based off their financial means.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Is that what I'm hearing?
But is that not what men is looking for as well? Because men today would also say they don't want to date a lady that is not working.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that a man will not still pick up that girl who has got a vision and empower her to become the woman that he wants her to be, or the woman that she can potentially be. Do you get what I mean? So that's the difference. The man will still go to the village and pick a girl and support her to get to the top. You see, but it's always difficult for a woman to see a man with potentials and empower that man and build with that man. It's always beautiful when women do that. And that's the problem, because a lot of established men have gone through shaggy as well. They've gone through their own experiences, and those experiences will now become too, like, it will be like two powerful people coming into a relationship, and then it becomes who is the head and who is the tail. It becomes a competition. Whereas there are people who, apart from your financial means, who are you as a person, as a human? What kind of human are you? What kind of man are you? What values do you have? What's your principles? Those are the things that women should be looking after, not your financial capacity.
But do you not think financial stability is important today? Like, would you advise people to get married today without, firstly, whether it is a man or a woman, ensuring that they're financially stable? Because you also have to remember that one of the top causes for divorce today is financial issues. So this idea of getting married and let's build together, although I put in the comment the hypergamy and hypogamy that we both, men and women practice. So a lot of women would date up, a lot of men would date down, and there is a different conversations around that. Why a man would go to the village and marry? Some people have said it's for control, blah blah blah. Is men's ego. That's a whole different conversation, right? But the point is, women usually would date up. Usually. So in a case like, but if we say that, okay, look, you really want to be with someone, and should people be getting together without being financially?
Wait a minute. That you would find that also, why we're saying that also, a lot of established women are single because men are even afraid to say hello to them based off where they are. I've had incidents back in the day where women will be discouraged from going to do masters and getting PhDs because they will not be able to attract a man. Thank God we're in the society where a woman can be whatever she wants to be now. But that should not define you as a person or being a criteria for you picking your man. You have all of this education and you're not able to access a man based off his his principles, his values, and the other things that he has apart from money. I mean, I don't know men who doesn't have money, but they have a lot of ideas. They have a lot of great ideas. They have a lot of things that in their up there that can potentially take the relationship or marriage to greater heights. Are they not?
Yeah, and the men would need to show that. The problem we're having is perhaps
Yeah, but the women are not giving them the opportunity to show that. That's what I'm
but
saying.
not when you hear men come and say they want to cheat. And see, you have to remember there are other things.
For instance, imagine just as little as phone. Imagine you using an iPhone Pro, iPhone 5 Pro Max or whatever, iPhone 15 or whatever Pro Max, and you meet a man who is using a touchlight phone. You would even judge the man by his phone, even before even getting to know him, even before, or even his shoe or shirt or trouser. You would judge that man by his shirt or shoes, even before you even get to know what they even have to say. I mean, you women are not. God will help you people because there's a lot.
King David, what about you men? Because I've taken my time to watch the dating shows in this day and age, and a lot of men will come and say, if you don't have nyash, even on this app, they will come and meet me. Oh, Tiana, you're not wait now. I want the wait here. Hey, wait, let me land this one. You guys, let me. I will land this one. Even on this black app, I have some men that will come and say,
Nyash is essential, my brother.
Wait now. You see. They'll come and say, wait now. They'll say, Tiana, match make me. I want a lady like you, blah, blah, blah. I say, I heard this lady, she's a doctor or she's this and that. Speak to, no, Tiana, she doesn't have nyash. So what are we saying?
You see, for men like
what are we saying? So it's the way the men are selecting as well. You're selecting Insta buddies and you're now complaining.
But our selection is based on like characteristic, because at the end of the day, if you're not attracted to your woman, then what are you doing? You understand?
Nyash is nyash. Good wife would be based on nyash.
Nyash can be a deal breaker. It's not a problem.
C9, listen to what you see, King David. You and C9 need to argue this thing.
Wait, C9, are we going to deny the fact that nyash is essential?
We let you land. Let me land. Yeah. I'm not talking about specifically nyash, okay? But you have to be attracted to your woman. The physical attraction is also very important.
Very important.
Because at the end of the day, if you're not attracted to your woman, what are you doing in a relationship? It will get to a time they will step out. There's no two ways about it. There's got to be that basic attraction to that. Like, the nyash part is just like some of our idiosyncrasies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You understand?
Would go for nyash over anything. That's the problem. So if you're talking about attractiveness, it's not about nyash. If you want to, then you deal with the consequences of dealing with people that have nyash. That's the problem. You're selecting. Look, I told you the other day, right? You had a lot of women. Let me quickly say this, right? A lot of women were crying, right? They were at the church. They wore their wedding gown. They were praying, they were crying. Oh, carry me, they go my husband's house. They were praying and waiting for you men. No, you men are going on Instagram and selecting Insta baddies, big yash, big boobs, eyelashes, everything. And then you'll be crying. I don't understand. Even here, I have cousins. My cousins will be like, oh, Tiana, I need a woman, I need to stay. Okay, bring me your girlfriend. They come and bring me their girlfriend. The moment I meet the girlfriend, I can see that, are you serious? A girlfriend with a big yash, you can see that she's not ready to stay with you.
Are you saying that women with big yash don't have good characters?
They do, but that should not be the basis for why you're selecting.
Yeah, but there are men. Yeah, but there are also men who are looking for other things apart from yash.
Listen, if you select a woman based on yash before character, then you deal with the consequences. Character should come first.
That I disagree with you.
That's the problem then. So men can't complain. You can't cry when you pick someone with yash, and then you're not complaining.
No, it's not just
you're the one that just said. You're the one that just said. Yeah.
No, I'm asking her to listen to you. You're not just talking about yash.
She's not letting me talk.
That's the point. Once they get to that point, whatever you're saying is not getting through.
Yeah.
That's the sad reality of our lives.
Yeah, I disagree with the fact that character comes first. Okay, if you see somebody, let's be brutally honest with you. If you see somebody who is, for lack of a better word, and God forgive me, ugly as hell, would you look at them twice?
Me, nobody's ugly.
That's why I said let's be honest, please.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I mean,
Nobody's ugly.
you need to see our husband.
Okay, let's just say,
Nobody's ugly. Your character makes you beautiful.
Wait, not ugly. Let's say somebody is not your spec. Would you look at them? Or would you look at them twice? Not your spec.
So
would you look at them? So the first thing that attracts you,
but you don't know my
is
spec.
the person being your. No. Wait. The first thing that attracts you is it's your eyes that see first. It's your eyes that see first. Then if you like what you see, you get closer and then add all the other attributes and look at character. Look at like whatever you're looking for. Everyone has different things they're looking for. You understand? So I don't agree with the assertion that character comes first, because you will never know somebody's character unless you get close to them. And to get close to somebody, you must like them. Exactly. For whatever reason that is.
I disagree with you.
You understand?
I would explain why I disagree with you. When I speak about Nyash, I'm not speaking for the men that would even still add character. For example, like I said, men come to me and say, oh, I want a lady like you. Okay, I say, look, this person is intellectual. Some people do say they're sapiosexual, by the way, where it is not about Nyash or whatever. Well, they say, and I say, this person is a doctor. They're doing well for themselves. Speak to them. They've not even met the person. They've not even seen the person from afar. The first question is Nyash. That is the problem. I'm not talking about this where so your point like on there are plenty. In fact, there are so many. There are too many men like that. But if you are talking about those with realistic expectations, for example, like you said, yes, I'm attracted to you to a certain level. I can speak to you and then I see your character. I feel like, of course, that would work better. But the problem we're having, like I said, is men selecting on the basis. They don't even care about your mentor, your character. Some men.
Yeah, exactly. Some men. Those men deserve what they get.
I put it this again, right? That most men in this day and age, from what I've seen, single men, because again, remember, some of us may not be on the dating scene, but I said to you that on my personal research, remember I said that my personal research, you say, okay, those in the dating pool, what is the problem? Why are we selecting wrong? I find that a lot of men are selecting on the basis of Nyash, and a lot of women are selecting on the basis of finance. Because remember, I was responding to King David's point about finances. So when King David says that a lot of women are selecting on finances, I said, actually, on the other hand, what I've noticed is a lot of men also selecting on the basis of Nyash, and that's causing issues. But if we're talking about having realistic expectations,
it boils down to matter of capacity. We are entitled to make unwise decisions, okay? So leave us.
So you people can't cry if you go and marry
and also for women who are looking for money.
Women go for fine boys. Women are going for fine boys instead of people that will treat them right.
Women are going for money, actually. I think women are going more for money because it's not about fine boy. That's why Regina would marry Ned. Ned is not a fine boy. So they would go for money first. A lot of women will go for money. A lot of men would go for Nyash.
It depends on the age range. The young ones are going for fine boys. They know that this guy is a bad. Yes, they know that this guy is bad for them.
I think even on the app, you would find that a lot of young ones are screaming. You remember, we're not saying that's not part of it, but in the order of priority,
this app is all about coins.
In the order of priority, I think the reality is that a lot of ladies would say money. I mean, that's why King David said about the finances. Why can't you build with a man? That's the conversation. So
but then,
okay. And that's why I said that.
I agree that.
Wait now, let me land that now.
When there's two men who have the money, and they have to choose, they go for the fine.
Of course. When you have two men, of course, then the beauty comes in, or the handsomeness. But that's not the conversation, though. The conversation is
good for you.
No, but the conversation is what comes first. So I feel like that's the second part. Right now, the focus on what comes first. What comes first for a lot of women is finances. That's what we're saying. Yeah. And I'm saying what comes first for a lot of men is the physical attraction. Nyash.
Yes.
Thank you.
We're not ashamed. Thank you. Nobody's ashamed. Thank you. You cannot shame the shameless.
Yeah, we like it.
I would like to advise men to start going more for character. Forget Nyash.
Yes, no. We'll think about character later.
if you go for the character and then
And the
there is
character is
nothing
not,
to do
and
with,
oftentimes,
there is
Yash,
nothing to do
Yash,
with,
Yash, Yash, Yash
you're going
often
to end
comes
up
with that
stepping out.
character,
So
you know.
it's better. It's
Also know
better if
that
you
a
go
lot
for
a
the
lot of
nyash
people
and
did
then
not
add the
marry.
character later.
I feel like it needs to be realistic though, because a lot of people also did not marry their spec. Like for example, with me, obviously I want a tall,
Yeah.
dark, handsome, the regular. That was my kind of spec, and so that's why I got.
Yeah, but because of
And
You see,
finances.
you
no,
see,
no, but there was no
this woman is
finances at the
intentional.
time.
Look at her. It's very intentional from the beginning.
That's what I'm saying. At
Why did
21,
you?
I
Why
knew
did
what
you?
I
Why
wanted.
did you? How about those who
Right?
don't know what they want?
Yeah,
Who
that's what we
anything
want to
goes.
advise, that people need to
Uh-huh.
start taking time to
And
manage
if Inyashi is the deal
expectations.
breaker, don't shame us. Okay.
No, that in my opinion, that is a very
Let
wrong
me
expectation to
let
be
me
looking for
let,
Nyash up and down. Nyash will not keep
let
your
me
marriage.
let you see my face, and I'm telling you that
Oh,
nyash is very important.
this
Yeah.
is serious, so
Thank you, my brother.
I'm
I'm saying on
serious.
camera.
Serious. Nyash.
Is no focus on the character of the woman. That would give you a better wife, and it
That
would give
will.
you a better home.
But that's true though. That's true. But
Hey, go for
you find women who
mind blowing. Just went quiet, or is she sleeping? Mind blowing. Are you still there? We can't hear you anymore.
yeah,
C9, your
sorry,
network.
um, my Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah.
Shana, the host life as
Yeah,
well.
I'm just saying sometimes we find that
No,
some
I
women
don't,
don't have
because
the
I have
nyash and
baby
they don't.
around.
What?
When
Shana.
I have baby around me, so my husband would not allow. It would not allow for me to go and be hosting, but I co-host.
Yeah, that's the thing. You co-host, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
because I think
Because I
this
always
app
have
needs you.
my daughter around me, so he doesn't want her on. So it would be distracting, and
Yeah, I know.
yeah. Mm.
Because I think a lot of people need your wealth of advice and experience. You need to share this, especially with the
You
younger
self, you
ones,
go
and
and host live, open it. I will support when if I'm
you don't
online.
you don't start.
Exactly, you too. The wealth of your experience. Everybody left. You're not giving us motivational comments. Everything you should have said when those other people were here.
How do you think I would be able to talk when with those
But
people
I think you
around?
don't like talking, right? When it's rowdy.
No, I mean
Yeah, I
you won't get
noticed.
through, and you should know when to be able to talk, because with these people you can't get through. They're coming from different experiences and everything. So how do I expect to change their orientation within how many minutes of life, or impact, or try to say whatever, share my experience? It's not possible.
I
When
agree with you,
especially when I saw the way they were coming for help, it takes a lot of guts for people to be able to come on live to use their own personal life experience. In conversations, it takes a lot. And what I find really weird is when people start to judge them, or when people start to attack them for it. I mean, why?
no, I get what you're saying. That's the thing with TikTok. People just attack other people
And they start to
because
take it really personal, like
yeah,
they start
that's
to
the
get really
reason I
upset.
don't even some live. That's why I avoid some lives now, because I'm
You
like
know,
there's certain lives where I would expect that there's intelligent people here, they will go, and then I find that when it comes to argument or fight, it's those type of lives.
why
Me,
are
I
you
don't even
upset?
bother
Why
to
are
go
you
anymore
upset
because
about my
I'm like,
life choices?
yeah, I'm like, that's why
Why?
I'm fighting and arguing, and these are supposed to be intellectuals. No, no, no. So that's why I don't
Somebody
go
is
to.
somebody is sharing an opinion and you're upset with them, and
On
you're not
most
even
live you will
saying
find
things
me.
to
Maybe if I'm a moderator, then most of this type of lives, or where I just know that it's a bit safer, then I would go
exactly.
to the live. And of course, if I'm co-hosting, I'm a moderator. It's easier for me, because if you're just talking nonsense, I can drop you. But if I'm going to lives where it's me, they are dropping with other
Yeah.
people. Okay, it's like
So you
there's
already
no
even
point for
drop
me
your
to.
life because you
Yeah.
know what you're saying anytime you come up to
Exactly,
talk.
and then you have rowdy people come up, and it's like it becomes an argument. Nah, there's no point. So yeah, that's why I just mind the life I go to. Although where I'm moderating, I tend to go there more. But yeah, that's just what it is. I don't know who's gonna end this life for Rose, because
Rose,
I'm wanted on another life. So
Okay.
we'll see.
We'll try to
Yeah.
wake her up.
Okay.
Pretty
Rose.
simple. When she
She slept off already, I think. So we have
And
to
she's
do call her.
she's one of the viewers as well. You can imagine.
Yeah. I think so that she can know when to round it up or something. All
Rose.
right, I'm gonna run. I'll see you guys later. Nice
All
talking to
right.
you guys.
Cheers. Have a beautiful day,
C9,
Mama.
great views as well, actually, from C9 and King David. Great views. Bye, guys.
Have a good day, my sister.
Right.
Rose. We need a
You're not gonna
microphone.
get her dropped.
Rose. Come on now.
She's
End the
gone.
live. I can see your face. End the live. Thank you. Peace out.